You have the pavilion in the background, one of my favorite venues to play at in the world, not just around the US, but in the world. Of course, you have Milton Taylor, the groundsman, and his team. They've done a fantastic job. We had the India-West Indies series, some games they haven't had a rest. 5 games today being the 5th, so they've done an amazing job. Absolutely wonderful outfield pitches as well, played really nicely for batting as well as bowling. So great contests. But if we look at the two sides, so many great performances. If you look at the West Indies, Janaba Joseph leading the charge for the West Indies with the bat, the top run scorer, leading run scorer so far in this series. And captaincy has been really good by Munisar. The positivity with which she speaks, the confidence, even though they may have been on the losing side on 3 of the encounters, still the way she talks about her team coming back and competing, that positivity, that energy is amazing. And Mitchell and Samaru at the top for opening the bowling for the West Indies. They've been excellent, exceptional, keeping USA in one of those games just to 7 runs in the first 6 overs. Mitchell, of course, with the player of the match performance. And on the other side of the aisle, you have US. Everyone is standing up, putting their hand up, especially with the bat. Every game, someone is taking the responsibility. We saw Mithali score 30 not out. Last game, we had Disha Dhingra scored 37, the highest score so far in this series, not out as well. And of course, Ritu Singh there. Consistent performances in the death with the bowling, but also batting, an all-round performer. She scored 20 and 13 not out, which has been wonderful. And of course, we have to talk about the captain, Geetika Kodali. What a performer, leading from the front. She's, of course, not out in the series with the bat, but also bowling so consistently in the death, picking up wickets, but keeping it tight. 1.75 in one of the games economy rate. That is unheard of, especially in the death. But not just her game, but the way she's captained the side. It's not just, she's not sticking to a formula as such, but depending on the situation, how the game is going, who is bowling well that day, how are the batters playing, reading all of that. And her situational captaincy and awareness has been exceptional.
Well, you heard Shabani breaking it down there. Now, let's talk on women's cricket in general. So we've had this historic series. First time a full member ICC team, youth team, ever toured United States of America for cricket, and it's women leading the way. So let's talk about the grassroots of women's cricket for a while with Shabani. Shabani, so we leave this venue, the series is long done.
Yep.
How does women's cricket continue in United States as we move on?
Well, we did have interregionals, regionals, and nationals, so that is our domestic pathway. And of course, with this under-19 historic series, it has been wonderful. Going forward, we have a couple of commitments for the senior side. In UAE, we have the T20 global qualifiers, and that is, of course, qualification for the main event, the T20 World Cup. That's going to be happening in February in South Africa. After the under-19, the under-19s play in January. So very exciting calendar coming up. Commitments, and possibly before that we might have a quadrilateral series also in UAE against UAE, Thailand and Zimbabwe. So an exciting couple of months for USA cricket, especially the women.
So you hear it, cricket continues to expand in this incredible country, and women's cricket is leading the way for United States, Cricket West Indies and all the other countries that are involved in women's cricket. So we'll be back with the last game of this series, game number 5 in this historic event, United States Women's Under-19s versus Cricket West Indies Women's Under-19s. We'll be back with the toss. Shabani and I will break down the game, and let's have a good time. See you guys soon. Welcome back to beautiful Broward County Stadium. You can see the players getting ready for the 5th and final match of this historic tour between USA Women's Under-19 and West Indies Women Under-19. So, without further ado, we're going to have the coin toss for game number 5. We have the 2 captains and the umpire. Geetika Kodali is going to do the coin toss, and Ashmini will call it in the air. Geetika? Heads is the call. Tails is the result. So USA win the toss. We'll have a word with Geetika and see what her decision is. Geetika winning the toss. So far, it's the same formula. Bowl first, bat second. How are we looking today?
I think we're going to bowl first today as well because the pitch looks really damp. And we'd just like to give our batters a chance to bat with the flatter wicket in the evening.
Like Itika said, we had a little bit of rain last night, damp pitch, wet outfield. Now, with the wet outfield, the ball going out gets a little bit slick. Will that be a deterrent for the bowlers?
I don't think so. I think our bowlers are really well versed in bowling in all conditions, so I hope we can overcome that, or we can just be adaptable and get accustomed to the pitch very quickly in this game.
So we've seen you hold the West Indies to about 70, 80 odd on most occasions. Are we looking at a total similar to that today?
Yes, definitely. I think 70 to 80 runs is a great target for us to bowl to again and chase it down quickly as well.
Thanks, Gitika. See you soon. Ashmini, same old. You guys get to have first strike. Taking a look at the wicket, a little bit of weather. Came in last night, kind of changed things up. How are you feeling about the wicket and about the decision?
Well, if we had won the toss, we would have bowled. But anyways, we've batted throughout the tournament for us thus far, and I don't think that will be an issue because, like I said previously, we're looking to maximize on all on everything right about now, and I think it's just they already won the series, and it's just for us to have fun and enjoy our last game.
Great, I love the outlook. Now, last game, you changed up the lineup a little bit. Are we expecting the same today, or are we going to kind of go back to the formal it was for the opening two games?
I think heading into the game, we'll see how that goes.
Perfect. Thank you, Ashmini. So you heard it there. Captains, USA won the toss, and they're going to go back to the formula that's worked for them. They've won the series 3-1 so far. This is the fifth game, the last game. These girls are full of great spirits and ready to compete. So USA won the toss. They're going to bowl first. West Indies will come into bat and take first strike. We'll see you back with live coverage in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. We are back in Broward County Stadium. Game 5, historic tour. West Indies Women's U19 visiting USA Women's U19. So far, the series, USA Women's Cricket leading 3-1 in this final match. The USA team have won the toss. Gitika Kodali, the captain, has decided to bowl first. I take that back. And this is the 5th consecutive game that the formula has worked and has stayed the same, where USA will bowl first to the West Indies. With me in the commentary booth, Shabani Bhaskar, and she's going to break down that decision for us. Shabani, we saw there was some rough weather last night. Pitch changed just a little bit. Do you think that influenced the decision for the USA team to bowl first?
Yes, the expectation was, of course, they've bowled first in 4 games, so they may come out, if they win the toss, bat first today, change it up, especially since they've won the series. But as you said, there was rough weather, a lot of rain last night, through the day as well. But the pitch seemed a bit wet, and that probably influenced their decision to bowl first again in this 5th and final game of this series. 3 changes for the U.S. Snigdha Paul, Anika Kolan, and Suhani Tadani resting. And we see Gitika Kodali opening the bowling. Good to see Captain Kodali. We've seen her bowl in the middle overs, the death. But today with the new ball in hand.
This one is in towards the thigh pad, and Reliana Grimont getting the chance to open batting. The West Indies team have not been successful in the opening 4 games. They won the 2nd game, but USA have been dominant in the other 3, not managing to get above 80. Kodali. This one's just on or outside off stump, coming back into the right-hander. But a chance for Grimont and company to have a chance to move up the batting order, get a chance to face the new ball, using this 5th game after the series has already been decided to get some meaningful time at the crease for some of the batters. Kodali. This one's pitched up and down the leg side, and immediately umpire Mahabir signals wide. First run on the board for the West Indies camp. And we talked about Gitika bowling in the death overs, bowling in the middle overs, now getting a chance with the new ball. You think that changes anything for her when it comes to exposure or chance with the new ball?
the way you bowl in the power play is different from when you bowl in the death. In the death, you are allowed 4 fielders out, and with the new ball, the ball is swinging. So definitely to be able to control that swing, but not just control, but make use of that swing. So she has a slip in place. She can swing the ball out. As we've seen, she's been angling the ball in as well.
Kodali just outside off stump, and Grimond flashes. Just to give everyone an idea, the 2 players out on the boundaries, a third man and a deep square leg, a very square, fine leg, as they would say. So 2 players behind the keeper for protection. The rest are in the fielding circle. Dali pitches this one up. The best ball so far of the over, and well played by Grimond.
We saw Grimond in the previous game opening with Calendar. Played a brilliant straight drive for a boundary. Unfortunately, wasn't able to continue. Got out on 5. But that boundary, that straight drive, again, we see a beautiful straight drive from her. But well stopped by Geetika.
This one's outside of stump, and Grimond being more aggressive, and you can see the fielding, the attitude out on the pitch for this USA team. And that'll be the end of over number 1. 1 run, just the wide, without loss after 6 deliveries. So, Shabani, the wicket, we took a look at it, you and I, before the game. Water definitely got through, whether it was the covers or it wasn't covered. That's not the point. Wicket's a little wet. It will dry out in time for USA. How is that going to affect the West Indies team as they take first strike?
So when the wicket is wet, it depends if the wicket is wet on top or if the moisture is underneath. When the wicket is wet on top, as we saw, the ball can hold up and bounce a little extra. So you call it tennis ball bounce. So the ball will pitch, hold in the pitch, and bounce a little extra. But they were rolling it out. They put like cloth cover on it and rolled it out to pull that moisture out. So they've done a lot of rolling this morning, the groundsmen, to dry out the pitch as much as possible. And from the other end, we see Isani Vagela opening the bowling. Bowled really well in the previous game. 4 overs, 1 wicket for 9 runs.
This one's down the leg side, just flicked away. There is a short square, backward square, no run. And that's Shalini Samaru, who's been so successful with the bat, had a 48 not out, the highest score so far in the first 4 matches of this 5-game series. She has shown that she can anchor the innings and bat throughout the 20 overs. Regala, this always played on. First wicket falls, Samaru, her second delivery. We see some movement off the wicket and the inside edge onto the stumps. And Samaru is bowled for a duck.
Beautifully bowled there by Isani Vagela. That line, hard to play that through the offside, looking to play a bit straighter. But the bat away from the body. What a line. That is the line to the left-hander when bowling right arm over the wicket. Isani Vagela strikes.
Just talking to Chandapol, the coach, Shivnarayan Chandapol of this USA women's cricket team, under 19 cricket team, and he said, like you said, Shabani, just echoing your thoughts, wanted to give USA a chance to bat first. The wicket was so overwhelmingly wet. Won the toss, decided to bowl, and it paid off. Literally, the second over, first wicket falls. Now the West Indies up against it as Zaida James comes in. Such a talented left-hander, but with the line and length that Vagela's bowling, it is going to be all uphill for this West Indies team.
A brilliant start, as you mentioned, Ryan, for the U.S. Only 1 run off the first over, bowled by Geetika Kodali, the captain, and now Isani Vagela striking off just the second ball. Hasn't given a run yet. But out goes a left-hander, comes in another left-hander. Zaida James, she's gotten starts. 13, 18 not out, 10. She's been good, but needs to kick on.
Vagela, James, down the leg side, and that's going to be the second wide of this match. Score goes to 2 for the loss of 1 wicket. That's umpire Gagar from on the commentary end. Those who have not been to the scenic Broward County Stadium, bowling from the commentary end has a slight incline, so you're coming up the hill. Vagela, beautiful line and length.
That line again, difficult to get away. Not enough width to hit it through the offside, but angling away, difficult to go through the leg side as well. And that is for offside and leg side, but for the batter to come out and drive, that ball is not there. It's still shorter. So not just the line, but also the length.
Vagela, right on off stump. They push the cover and they're going to take one. Oh, it's a mix-up. Grimond gets back safely. James pushed the ball straight to cover. It was always going to be a tight single.
Ritu Singh there at covers, going to the wrong end. Both batters were at the non-striker. Mitali Patwardhan keeping today. Anika Kolan resting.
Shabani, one part of the game that seems to take a little bit more development is running between the wickets. We've seen so many runouts in this in the 4-match series so far. Any thoughts of how long that takes to develop that sort of chemistry?
Takes a long time. If you look at the West Indies, coming from 6 different nations or country teams, and this is the first time these girls are playing together as one unit.
Oh, and Vagela right back on that line and length despite the left-handed, right-handed combination.
Even if you take the USA under-19 team, when we play in the regionals and the nationals, we're playing for the East Zone or the West Zone or the Eastern Conference, Western Conference. So it's not often that these girls play together, opening the batting together. Nicely picked up there by Grimond. What placement between that square leg and mid-wicket.
Beautiful shot. The wrist in that shot was just impeccable. Picked that ball just about middle and off and flicked it through mid-wicket. Here's that replay again, Shabani.
Seemed like a good ball from Vagela, a no ball overstepping, and Grimond making use of that.
So a free hit for Grimond after she scored the boundary, and with a bit of confidence may see her open up her shoulders and go after this one. Vagela, yes she does, and she's got all of it right past Vagela, and it's 4 more. 2 boundaries in succession for Grimond. The score races on to 12.
The aggression, the full bat swing. The ball was there. Yes, it was a free hit. She made the most of it. Got all of it. Going straight down the ground, mid-off, mid-on, inside the circle. And at the end of 2 overs, West Indies are 12 for 1.
Well, so far, Vagela gets the breakthrough in that second over, getting Samaru to play on. But Grimond, after surviving the suicide single, 2 boundaries in succession, and the West Indies are off and running. Or as they would say, alive and kicking.
Alive and kicking, yes.
You know that song, Shabani? You know that song?
No.
It's a fantastic song. I'll play it for you at the break, so
Yes.
get ready, everyone.
Yes. But we saw the intent from Grimond in the previous game as well. She was going for it. She has that beautiful full bat swing, back lift and follow through. That power comes in when that happens.
Kudali, this one's still angling across the left-hander. So comes into the righty, across the lefty. Saida James, I tell you what, she's going to call for suicide singles. She's going to get there on the other end. It's the other batter who's thinking about it. James is just lightning in the field and at the crease. Now Grimond has other ideas. 2 boundaries in succession. She's not all about these singles, just to let you know.
But she's taking those quick singles as well with Zayda James, of course. Both the batters have to make the run for it to count.
That's right.
But as long as the understanding and the communication is there and you talk to each other and say, hey, if the ball goes here, we're taking that quick single, you're good.
Kudali, outside off stump. Mahabir calls the wide. Just throwing this out there. Grimond, 2 boundaries in succession. Getika Kadali saw that first hand. Did she try to hide that delivery? Come a little further outside of stump.
Well, you're throwing this out there and Grimond is throwing her hands out there.
Everybody's throwing everything. Kudali. This one's closer. Finds the line, finds the length. So we saw West Indies winning their only game of the series. That second match, they got to 100. 14 for 1. They're going to have to get to within triple figures to just keep this USA team at bay. So it's pitched up. Grimmond opens up. This one's over extra cover. Come back for an easy 2. Confidence is there for Grimmond. She moves to 10.
Great shot there by Grimmond. Again, going over that extra cover fielder. If you look at it, the extra cover fielder is almost 10 paces inside the ring, whereas the cover fielder is sat on the circle. So easier to go over extra cover.
Oh, it edged and it's dropped.
Difficult chance there. Disha Dhingra at slip. Ball coming on so quickly. Geetika bowls at a good pace. And Grimmond played a full-blooded shot. It wasn't a nudge. It wasn't a push. She looked to drive that with a lot of power. And when that happens, the ball flies to slip.
There's never an easy catch at slip. As the old saying goes, if you know, you know. Back there, it comes quickly and you have half a second to grab it. This one's pitched up. Beautiful delivery, well played. First forward defensive we've seen. And it comes from James. We saw the fielding exercises before the game. We've tried so hard to try to simulate the slip fielding in practice. It's just incomparable to an actual game, Shabani. Kodali pitched up on the leg side and it's off the pads and onto the stumps. Geetika Kodali gets his second wicket and it's another bowled. This one on about leg stump. And James had no idea where it was. Second wicket falls for 17.
Ripper of a delivery by Geetika Kodali. A Yorker on leg stump would have maybe gone away, but that ricochets off the pads of Zeta James, trying to get her feet out of the way. Yes, that toe-crushing Yorker.
It is not easy.
What a start for Geetika Kodali. She's bowled 2 overs, just given 6 runs and taken a wicket. West Indies 17 for 2.
So we talked about slip fielding, and just take a look at this, how quickly it comes. This is Dhingra at slip. Full flash of the bat by Grimmond. In and out. We saw the alligator hands by Dhingra.
Also, when the ball goes above shoulder high, you go for the reverse cup. And oftentimes the reverse cup, especially at slip, it's harder to cushion that ball. But what a ripper of a delivery after that by Geetika Kodali.
Captain Fantastic cleans up, gets his second wicket, 17 for 2 after 3. The run rate is there, but the wickets are falling. And in steps another big hitter in Calendar. Seems to have the type of batting strategy or outlook to close games, coming in at number 4. And she's going to have a lot of overs, 17 overs to bat for Gela. Right on off stump, pushed him it off, no run.
We saw Calendar open in the previous game, the 4th T20. Wasn't able to get going. Scored 5 off 23 deliveries. So definitely a different approach when you come in the power play or opening versus when you come in the death or the back end of an innings.
Vagela again pitched up, over the top it goes. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and into the boundary. Well, fortune favors the brave. We're in the power play. Only 1 player out of the fielding circle. And this time goes over the top and gets the boundary.
Reliana Grimmond, she is aggressive. That is her approach. We've seen it from the get-go in the previous game as well. And today, going at more than a run a ball. 15 off just 14 deliveries.
So it's outside off stump, and you can see the wrist. Like a square drive, or almost a cut shot in between. But the intent is there by Grimmond.
She's not holding back. The ball is there, short and wide, or in her slot. She is going for it. It's great to see, hitting that ball hard.
Love the wrist. Grimmond again just pushes it to mid-on. Does that play into the bowler's psyche, though? A player like Grimond who wants to go after the bowling, does that adjust the line and the length?
It does, because then you have to bowl tighter lines and lengths. You can't err on either side. We've seen her already hit through the leg side for the ball to the boundary. And outside off stump, she's slashing hard.
Again goes after it. It's going to beat mid off. A misfield. And another boundary for Grimond.
Difficult one there. The ball bouncing in front of the fielder. Do you go for the catch? Or do you step back to allow the bounce? It wasn't there for Chetna Prasad at mid-off.
Like you said, always going to be difficult. That inside that corridor of uncertainty, whether you throw your body or just block the boundary. She was in two minds. The result, another boundary for Grimond. 19 off 17. Vagela goes across her body now through mid-wicket, and Grimond is putting on a show. Another boundary, her fourth.
What batting here by Grimond. We've seen her go down the ground on two occasions. This one picking it up from outside off stump. Only three fielders on the leg side, picking that gap to perfection, beating the square leg fielder. Brilliant batting here by Grimond. 4 overs gone, 29 for 2.
Well,
West Indies.
A one-player show right now. Grimond 23 out of the 29 off of only 18 deliveries. So let's see what Gitika Kadali has up her sleeve. She's going to make her first bowling change. We're just going to get clarification of who it is.
Looks like Disha Dhingra coming into the attack.
Dhingra has come on of late. Had a fantastic score just 1 or 2 matches ago. Had the drop catch just minutes ago, but now has the ball in her hand to make up for it. Bowling to the hard-hitting calendar. Beautiful line and length. Again, corridor of uncertainty. Not much calendar can do with it.
The good thing about the previous, the boundary that Grimond hit, yes, it was outside off stump and she picked it up and hit it to the leg side. But you see, that ball is not going on to hit the stump. So it's outside off stump and there is less risk to take that from the offside and hit it to the leg side.
Oh, someone is short and pulled away. Not sure if Dhingra wants to drop this ball short on a wicket that's a little sticky, holding up. That's going to be food, pastry, and dessert for the batters.
Yes, Calendar getting into a good position, but not able to time that ball well enough to go to the boundary. There is a deep square leg and wide third man on the boundary, the two boundary riders in this power play.
Dhingra. Grimond. We've seen Grimond use her wrist play across her body, but when the ball is on off stump, will execute technique. Certainly exciting player. Has all the shots. She's shown that already in this short inning. Has technique to take care of the better balls. This one is pitched up again. The wristy play to mid-on. Gets one.
In the previous game, we saw Grimond open. The intent was there. Hit a beautiful straight drive boundary. Got out playing all over the ball, going across a full delivery that was right on the stumps. LBW. Looks like she's learned from that.
Dhingra. Calendar. Outside off stump. Almost a Yorker outside of stump. Very hard to get away.
What a delivery. That one moving away. We've seen her angle the ball in, cutting the ball in, and this one just moving away from the batter, from the right-hander.
Well, if you can execute that delivery, you're going to get more dot balls. This one's good delivery again and well played. Just puts the bat straight through the delivery. The line of the ball, it's amazing, hitting the ball on the up. So the end of 5 overs, we're just at about 6 runs and over, 31 for 2. Grimond is leading the charge.
Brilliant over by Disha Dhingra, just giving 2 runs off this first over that she's bowled. When Grimond is going the way she is, and Calendar, of course, being a hard hitter, but playing a different role today, coming in the power play. We've seen her be brilliant at the back end, coming in with 3-4 overs to spare. She scored that 12 ball, 20 runs.
Well, Coach Shivnarine Chandapal resting his opening bowlers. Paul, Tadani, both on the sidelines, getting the prestigious job of providing drinks for the players. That's all part of the game. And now we have a change of bowling from the commentary end. Going to have Tia Gonzalez, who opened the bowling in the first game, getting a chance to slow things up with the spinner coming up the hill to Grimmond. Grimmond. Well, it was a good delivery, and Grimmond just took her time, just sort of took a look at Gonzalez to see what she had on offer. So it's outside off stump and cut away through cover. Beats the fielder. It's going to be an easy 2 with a thought for 3. Just the 2, but Grimmond again being aggressive, using that wrist to get power to beat cover.
That back foot drive, beautiful. That ball was short outside off stump, just stayed back and hit a beautiful drive.
Gonzalez, Grimmond, outside off stump, but with the turn. There's a short mid-wicket.
Looked like she was shaping up to do the exact same thing as the previous delivery, but that ball turning more. Well bowled here by Tia Gonzalez.
Bit of hope for the spinners. This one's tossed up, but with the slow wicket, it allows Grimmond to get on that back foot and dictate the play. Again, cover couldn't feel it, too much heat. They get the 1.
But that's the difference, Ryan. When you're looking to hit the ball hard, then the fielders have to do a little bit more to keep that ball or catch that ball and throw it in. So more opportunities on misfields and fumbles when you're hitting that ball hard.
Gonzalez, Calendar, outside off stump, and it's a late cut. You can see because the wicket has that moisture, it's holding up. Calendar had to adjust the shot straight to point, no run. Just to remind our viewers, late evening showers got through to the wicket. It's playing a little bit slower. USA won the toss and elected to bowl first. This one short and Calendar pulls it. There's a deep backward square, an easy 1.
Reducing a deep square leg, getting around quickly. Calendar was on the back foot, so couldn't push off and take that first run quick enough to come back for the second at the end of 6 overs. West Indies are 35 for 2.
So the power play is over. I have to believe the West Indies, despite losing the 2 wickets, just about 6 runs over. They have to be pleased.
This has been their best power play in terms of number of runs so far in this series. A good start, going at, as you said, just a touch under 6 runs and over. If they can continue the same, and of course, if they have enough wickets in hand in the death, they can accelerate a little more.
So Dhingra about to bowl a second over. Gave up just 2 runs in her first. Ouch, a short delivery and pulled away. The short mid-wicket is there. The protection now after the power play. Still USA only electing for 2 players outside of the circle. A deep mid-wicket and a third man.
We've seen that Calendar is a strong puller, but not able to time the ball so far on that pull. We've seen her play a couple of pull shots, but not timing it as well as we know she can.
See the captain at mid-off constantly, at slip, clapping that last delivery. This one's pitched up and driven away. The wrist is there. An easy run in the end for Calendar.
A full-blooded drive there from Calendar, but well stopped at mid-off by Ritu Singh, getting her body behind the ball as well, but picking picking it up cleanly.
So, being the 5th game of this historic series, we've seen all the players grow in confidence on the field, bowling, batting. This one's beautiful delivery coming back into the right-hander. Grimond 27 of 24. Can this be the innings of the series?
You spoke about the players growing in confidence.
Tingra outside off stump. Grimond trying to play across the line. And now corrects herself and try to play the ball on its merit. I love how anybody who bats out there always plays the correct shot the second time.
Hindsight.
2020. This one's down the leg side, wide called. Shabani, we're looking at Grimond, yourself being an aggressive batter in the power play, whether it's opening or coming in the middle order. Do you see yourself a little bit in this type of shot selection that Grimond has in your type of?
I'm a strong leg side player as well. I do like to convert balls from the offside to the leg side.
This one's down the leg side and appeal for LBW. Umpire Mahabir is satisfied that it's going down the leg side. End of another good Dingra over. Just 2 more runs off of it. It is 37 for 2 after 7. Grimond leading the charge.
But Grimond's been good in adjusting the areas that she's playing. So outside off stump, she's looking to drive or cut hard through the offside. And if the ball is angling in towards her, then she's going for that leg side shot. Or if it's slightly shorter, she's looking to pull it. And there are only 3 fielders on the leg side at the moment. There aren't 4. Maximum you can have is 5. So huge gaps on the leg side, especially when you're batting in the power play. And she's making the most of that. And we've seen her go down the ground. Best place to play the ball. No fielder behind the bowler. So definitely, if you're able to get some strong shots down the ground, whether over the top or along the ground, and she's done both. It's also, as a spectator, as someone watching the game, it's so beautiful to watch.
Just want to go back over the last 4 games. Anything for the USA? We've seen them win the toss or lose the toss, end up in the field first. What are their strengths in the field and bowling-wise that you've seen observed in the opening 4 games?
Well, at the top, Suhani Tadani and Snigdha Paul have been brilliant, keeping the runs down, being very economical, picking up wickets as well.
Gonzalez pitched up, driven away. And like Shabani said, players that can take the ball from off stump and get power through the leg side. You can see Calendar in full display of that very same sort of technique. Gets 1.
It gives you that extra option. If you're able to play a ball that's on the offside, through the offside, yes, that's good, but you do have a cordon.
So one shorter, driven.
Well,
so going back to the opening bowlers of Tadani and Paul, excellent economically. But what have you seen in the middle part of the innings and the death overs?
Well, the bowlers have consistently been able to keep the run rate under check. That ball dipping just in time. Grimond, her eyes lit up as soon as she saw the flight of that delivery, but very well bowled by Tia Gonzalez. That ball dipped under Grimond's bat.
And you've brought up
well kept by Mithali Patwardhan as well. We've seen multiple times in this series when it's a half volley or a very full ball, the keeper has struggled, and sometimes Anika Kolana as well. Very well done there by Mithali Patwardhan.
So Gonzalez, Grimond, you talked about that full delivery. Sometimes there are bad deliveries, bowlers make mistakes, but you mentioned an invaluable point early on in this series. Batters keeping their shape, getting contact, scoring runs, while batters try to do too much with the delivery and don't make any contact with the ball whatsoever. But Grimond has made contact, 27 of 30, playing across the line of the ball. That was 1 for the offside.
Especially since they've put a sweeper cover out, you have that single on offer. if she's able to place the ball between the extra cover and point fielders, it's an easy single. But yes, there are 3 fielders outside on the leg side, singles on offer there as well. But this one is an easy single, and Callender is also getting in the act.
Oh, this one's tossed up, and Grimmon's got all of it. There are 2 players out there. It's not going to make any difference. 4 more for Grimmond.
This one tossed up a bit more by Tia Gonzalez. And Grimmond making the most of that. Got it as a full toss. It was at a good height as well for her, for Grimmond to hit that. Seems a bit high, but brilliantly placed. Those fielders on the boundary were not far from each other. That was quite a small gap, especially when you think of it in terms of them being on the boundary. And at the end of 8 overs, West Indies are 42 for 2.
Umpire Gregar electing not to call a no ball. So, but Grimmond getting a valuable boundary. USA were pegging them back, bowling good deliveries, especially this player right here, Dhingra, coming from the northern end, coming down the hill, has given up 4 runs from her first 2 overs. Bowling to Callender. Pitched up on the onside. You can see it just whipped through the line of the ball. Excellent bit of fielding by mid-on. No run.
Also great bowling here again by Disha Dhingra, starting this over off very well. That full delivery doesn't allow the batter to get under it, but also difficult to get power into it when the ball is that full.
Dhingra. Calendar's a full toss, driven. 1 bounce to mid-off, an easy single. So we've seen a full delivery by Gonzalez, hit for 4 by Grimmond. We see a full toss here by Dhingra. You think it was just a missed Yorker, or is that the dew on the ball causing the ball to slip?
Both, possibly. There is plenty of dew out there, especially because there was rain yesterday. So it's
just to let you
difficult.
Know, you can't select C and say all of the above if you want. That's fine.
That's what I said. I took that option, even though you didn't quite give it to me. But I made my own option, writing C and filling that one in. But there is quite a bit of dew around the ground, and as you said, once the sun, there is sun, and the pitch will dry out, but also the ground will also dry. You can see on the blades of the grass there are droplets of water, and that is the dew that we talk about. But Disha Dhingra has been really difficult to get away.
Short of a length, pulled away. Square leg is there, and they're going to get 1.
And also, Disha Dhingra hasn't bowled so far in this series. We've seen her open the batting on 3 occasions, but she hasn't been given the ball. Of course, we've had Snigdha Paul and Suhani Thadani that have done an incredible job with the ball, and they're not playing today, and Disha Dhingra getting that opportunity.
Oh, and that is another wicket. Dhingra bouncing right back, a shortish delivery than the delivery before, and this time the Yorker comes in and gets the scalp of Callender. Brilliant delivery by the medium pacer, and has really put the West Indies in an awkward position. 44 for 3. Dhingra strikes.
Disha Dhingra doing so much hard work, has been very good throughout this innings with her bowling, and gets her reward. That ball swinging in, a Yorker length. Callender looking for the big shot, bat pad gap through the gate. Disha Dhingra getting that leg stump. Great bowling here by Disha Dhingra. She's kept that pressure on, although there may have been some runs from the other end. She has kept the pressure on, bowling economically, and also getting that wicket.
Now I'm off of my seat now. Janaba Joseph has just stepped to the wicket. Shabani, please explain to us why we should all be excited with this young player coming to the crease.
All right, now she's on 84 runs in this series. She is the leading run scorer so far. She was the leading run scorer in the Rising Stars tournament that happened a couple of months ago. But also she is versatile. We've seen her come in at number 3 in 3 of the games. In the last game, she came in lowered in the order and scored 27 runs off 22 deliveries. So that's a different style of play. Again, Callender we've seen do really well at the back end, hasn't clicked as well when she's come in earlier in the innings. And she's off the mark on the first delivery, Janaba Joseph. And she's versatile in terms of her styles of play. She's able to play an anchor role. She's able to play attacking cricket. And very easy on the eyes. Those cover drives that she plays.
So much technique. Got in line with the ball. A good delivery coming into her body. Not much power as in opening the shoulders type of player like Calendar and Grimmond. But enough technique to get the power to score runs on the regular. So, after 9 overs, 45 for 3. Run rate at 5 and over.
She has great technique and timing, and we've seen with timing, she scored 2 boundaries in the last game and was able to keep getting those 1s and 2s. So, of course, finishing on 27 off 22 in the last game, Janaba Joseph.
So, looks like the wrist spinner, or off spinner, I believe it was Badriaju, looks like from here.
Yes, she's been good in this series. She picked up 2 wickets in the first game, 2 wickets in the second game, was very economical in the third game. And yes, in the previous game as well, picking up a wicket. She's been good overall.
So we've seen Badriaju come from the commentary and have a lot of success so far in this series, and she's back at it again. Bowling to Joseph, a deep mid wicket, a sweeper cover. The 2 players outside the circle. This one's tossed up. And Joseph, it's so important to observe when you're outside, off of the crease, you're on deck to bat next. You can see the wicket holding up. Even though that ball was tossed up, Joseph back on the back foot because the wicket is playing slowly and just pushes it to the offside. Great adjustment. Pitched up, Joseph down the ground and is pulled through mid-wicket. Deep mid-wicket, feels beautifully to prevent the second. Fantastic feeling by, looks like it's Lisa Ramjit.
It got to the ball quickly, getting down in time, getting her hands and body behind the ball. Very good work there on the boundary by Lisa Ramjit to keep that down to just a single.
Outside our stump, Joseph. Because the ball has been holding up, Grimmond had to count to 10 before it actually got to her. Badriaju resets, gets the grip of the ball, delivers. Grimmond again has to hesitate. You can see her stare at the heavens, asking for answers.
But the pace at which Badriraju bowls, even if the ball is on the full side, you have enough time to go back and play the ball. As you mentioned, the first delivery was quite full.
Oh, this one spun a mile. Grimmond adjusts and gets his single to long on. You can see the difference in field when Grimmond's batting compared to Joseph because of her power. She has a long on, deep mid wicket, and looks like a sweeper cover. And Gitika Kadali has continued to have the long on with Joseph now on strike. This one came right back into Joseph.
A lot of grip and turn, especially the wicket is a bit wet. The ball is going to grip. And Badriraju, if there is grip, she will turn the ball as well.
Here's that ball spinning back a mile.
Well played in the end by Grimmond. The fifth ball of the over. Very well played because the ball turned so much and the ball was keeping low as well. So had she missed that, it may have gone on to hit the stumps. But at the end of 10, West Indies are 47 for 3.
The decision you make today may help shape someone else's future tomorrow. Let's talk about how we can help you put together a strategy. Life insurance is in our DNA. We've been cracking the code for 175 years. With New York Life by your side, you can focus on the things that matter most. You've got dreams and responsibilities. We're here for both. New York Life. Be good at life.
Welcome back to beautiful Broward County Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. One of the most scenic venues you'll ever come across as a cricket fan. Shabani Bhaskar Ryan Davis in the commentary booth. This historic tour between the West Indies Women's Under-19 and our hosts, USA Women's Under-19, have done a fantastic job. And we have a change of bowling from the northern end. The leg spinner, Iuni, has been consistent throughout the series. We can see the turn being extracted off of this pitch. USA winning the toss, electing to field. And it's the 5th consecutive time they have taken the field first. West Indies behind the power of Grimmond. 47 off of for 3. Grimmond 33 off of 37. And if my math serves me correctly, only 14 runs scored by the rest of the team. So the star of the morning so far, Grimmond takes strike. Oh, and that one was drawn the batter into the shot with the drift, Shabani.
Aside Tanmay Ayuni, the leg spinner, the sole wrist spinner in this USA team. Tossing that ball up nicely, yorking herself almost, Grimmond. Plenty of turn on offer, we already saw from the other end. Badri Raju extracting a lot of turn, and now Ayuni, of course, as a wrist spinner. Turn and bounce.
This one's a flatter delivery. They think of a single. Captain is there at short extra cover just to shadow that delivery and give the batters a second thought. Here's Gitika Kodali, who has led from in front with bat, ball and instructions on the field. Again, shorter delivery, whipped through mid-wicket. There is a cover out there, just the one. You can see Grimmond, her strength is to play from the crease. But with Iuni pitching that delivery up, pitching those balls up, could be problematic for the hard-hitting Grimmond.
Yeah, we haven't seen Grimmond use her feet and come down the track, whereas Janaba Joseph likes to use her feet if the ball is tossed up.
So it's high, and Joseph gets all of it. Deep mid-wicket is out there. There's a misfield. They're going to come back for 2. And I have a funny feeling that's going to be a no ball.
Not given, possibly because Janaba Joseph came out of her crease, danced down or stepped out. But still, if the umpire feels it would have passed above waist high.
That's another shot, and Joseph, another tennis racket sort of shot. And this time, umpire Mahabir calls for the no ball. Joseph still got contact, they got a single. And now a free hit off of the last delivery. Iuni obviously having a hard time with the grip. 2 balls very high for the batter. And now Grimmond, free hit. Grimmond comes down the track. Oh, it could be a run out. Grimmond gets there, misfield by Iuni. They get the single.
A bit of hesitation. Again, we see on a free hit a possibility of a run out, but Grimmond, even though she started a bit, commitment, diving into the crease after 11 overs. West Indies are 53 for 3.
So here's that play again. Again, another full delivery by Iuni. Grimmond inside outs it. Drop short of extra cover. Kodali's there. Just tries to lob it in to Iuni, and the misfield equals Grimmond being home safely.
But even with that, Grimmond committed, diving. She would have been in. But that's the intent. The intent to get runs, but also with intent comes that commitment to keep batting, especially Grimmond, 35 off 42, has slowed down a bit after the spinners have come on.
So the middle overs have been well managed by the spinners. Badri Raju. Outside off stump, and just short of the bowler. Try to drive it on the up, Grimmond.
A strong bottom-handed player, pushing at that one. Of course, Badri Raju, slower in pace, flights the ball. So the ball also on this pitch holding up, all resulting in that uppish drive.
So when shorter, Joseph pulls away, came off the bottom of the bat. Well fielded by mid-wicket. Just the one. So the West Indies, even getting some full deliveries, full tosses or what have you, the field is well set, and so far the USA have protected their bowlers from any sort of excess damage. Full delivery. Grimmons gets all of this one. Oh, one bounce, almost a maximum. So you can't really set a field for bad bowling. Baj Riaju, another full delivery. Grimmon gave it the works.
Great shot by Grimmon. Yes, a full toss, but had to put it away. And that ball dipping, Badri Raju being slower through the air, not always easy to time it, but Grimmon timed that to perfection. One bounce for almost a 6.
Well, just off of the evidence, have to believe these spinners are having a hard time gripping the ball between Baj Riaju on one end and Iyuni on the other. Ooh, and that is the line and the length. The adjustment is there.
Well bowled there by Bhumika Badriraju. When you dry the ball, especially when it's wet, either because of rain or dew, oftentimes you dry the sides of the ball, but you don't focus so much on the seam. But the seam is what the bowlers are holding and ripping when they're bowling spin.
Grimmon into the 40s. Excellent bit of fielding and cover. Looks like it is the captain herself, Kodali, diving and just enough presence to have the batters hesitate. Last delivery of the 12th, 59 for 3. Grimmon in her 40s. And this one comes back into the right-hander, worked away, get a single. Joseph was so committed, and that means Grimmon will face the first delivery of the 13th over.
That full toss again. Grimmon dispatching that. One bounce to the boundary. Lisa Ramjit close there to the ball, but the ball went so quickly that she didn't have a chance.
Shabani, your eyes lit up when you saw the full toss. You wanted to get some of that as well. So the Florida storms came in last night. If anybody has ever witnessed a Florida storm, it can get violent. And the wicket got the worst of it. Got a little wet. USA won the toss. They had every intention of batting first to give their batters a chance to set a target. After the series has been decided 3-1, but the wicket was really made for bowling, and Coach Shivnarayan Chanderpaul ordered his troops to bowl first. And now West Indies 60 for 3, 5 runs and over. Grimmond. Oh, and a beautiful delivery by Iyuni.
She's had difficulty reading the turn, not just the turn, but the amount of turn. So Iyuni has been good about varying the degree of turn.
Guess this one tossed up to Grimmond. And because Grimmond has that hesitation to use her feet, Iyuni just seems to have the full range, if you would like, to deliver that ball where she wants.
Yes, we've seen that whenever, of course, when it's a full toss, Grimmond and Janaba Joseph have hit it well. And when it's short, Grimmond has played very well.
Ooh, and this one played back to the bowler, and she's out. That ball did not come off of the ground. We hesitated for a second in the commentary booth. Joseph came forward, got it on the full, and put it right back into Iyuni's hands. And the West Indies lose a valuable wicket in their best batter so far this series.
Very well bowled by Sai Tanmay Iyuni, drawing that batter out. We know that Janaba Joseph likes to use her feet. A simple catch in the end for Iyuni. Very well bowled.
Joseph using her feet did everything right. However, the head came up too early and just punched the ball right back into the hands of Iyuni, who, you know, any caught and bowl chance is a hard chance. Held on to it well.
Yeah, that ball kept low as well. A low chance, always difficult, but Iyuni did well to take that catch. 61 for 4 West Indies.
The decision you make today may help shape someone else's future tomorrow. Let's talk about how we can help you put together a strategy. Life insurance is in our DNA. We've been cracking the code for 175 years. With New York Life by your side, you can focus on the things that matter most. You've got dreams and responsibilities. We're here for both. New York Life. Be good at life.
So a unique continues to operate. 61 for 4. This one's well flighted to the new batter. Talk about full range of motion. You have a new batter at the crease. As a bowler, you have the entire playbook at your disposal.
Absolutely. Chanel Saw coming in. We've seen her open for most of the series. Coming in at number 6.
Look at the turn Uni just extracted from that pitch.
Nicely played there by Saw. Watching it closely.
That turn is Shane Warne-esque, as they would say. Grimmond still out there, 42 of 49. West Indies depending on her to carry the team.
It's been a top innings from Grimmond. She's been right out of the gate. She was attacking, taking on the bowlers. A brilliant power play for the West Indies in terms of number of runs. Just a touch under 6 runs and over.
This one's tossed up. Driven to mid-off. Full of confidence, Grimmond. And that concludes the 13th over. 62 for 4. After 13, Grimmond 43. And the new batter, Saw, 1. So interesting to see what the Kodali does. Looks like there's going to be a change of bowling. Yes, there is. Badriaju comes off just after 2 overs. And could it be Ritu Singh?
It's Lisa Ramjit. We haven't seen her bowl in this series. She's a difficult bowler to get away.
Think they're saving Ritu Singh for the death overs?
Death overs and also opportunities for the bowlers we haven't seen in the series yet, giving them the ball, allowing them to build their confidence. It's always good to have multiple options going into big tournaments.
This one's tossed up, driven back to long on. Just one. The protection for Ramjit is a long on, deep mid wicket, a sweeper cover, 3 players outside of the circle, and looks like there's going to be a long off as well. So a lot of protection coming from the commentary end.
The speed at which Lisa Ramjit operates is quite difficult to get away. So singles and maybe 2s.
So Ramjit, bowling some medium pace, comes into the right-hander. Wasn't so apparent, but you can, if you saw it again, you can see that ball hit the seam and straighten. Not easy to bat out there in these conditions. Outside off stump, and it's going to be a wide delivery. So Shabani, you've been in Fort Lauderdale for about a week now. Any chance to take a visit anywhere, some sights or sounds?
Nicely driven down the ground there by Chanel Saw.
Or is the cricket ground that picturesque that you've come back here every day and be diligent?
It's so beautiful. I love this venue. I've played many of my matches, especially when I'm playing for the U.S. We play most of our games here when we have touring teams. So one of my favorite grounds in the world.
Oh, it's over the top. Long on is there. 2 bounces. But Grimmond just reminding everyone, if you pitch it up into the slot, she can take advantage. Well fielded, just a long one. Grimmond goes to 45. 67 for 4.
But that's also what Lisa Ramjit can do. The ball looks like it's coming, but you try to take her on, and that catch is always there.
You see her hands, her movement. You almost have to play like a spinner, though. Have some patience. The ball will come. But if you play through the line of the ball, especially with these conditions, it will go in the air. And So with that fantastic technique. Remember, So is an opening batter for Trinidad and Tobago and this West Indies team. She's batter lower down in the order now, but you can see the correction in the technique to get the head over the ball. 68 for 4 after 14. So after this, you head back to India. What are you looking forward to heading back home? Family, friends?
Family
Food.
and friends. Yes, always. Mom, always plenty of food at home. Very delicious and tasty as well.
Shabani,
So
could you remind everyone what part of India you live?
I live in Chennai, so that's in the south. Of course, if you take IPL, everyone knows Chennai Super Kings.
Sure.
So
Nice plug there for Chennai Super Kings. And here's Iuni pitching it up. Did she take the catch? Just short.
just falling short. Almost another one. This one, of course, a better delivery. Saw straight back to the bowler, pitching just short. Iuni here on fire.
Iuni pitched it up again. This one, look at the turn, drawing the batter into the shot and then leaves them as it pitches. Beautiful.
You can see the confidence. The first over was expensive. Oh, second over expensive, but once she's gotten that wicket.
Wrist spinners are invaluable. Iuni again. Oh, this one is the googly. Inside part of the bat from So. Didn't read it.
Again, that confidence coming through. As soon as she's gotten that wicket, another almost an opportunity. She's been on the money, bringing out that googly. How much turn is that? if
That's
I
enough
take,
turn for you to completely change your mind.
if I had that amount of turn and I could just take like a sliver of that and use it
Yes.
for 6 deliveries, that's
Yes.
still a lot of turn left.
Oh, late cut, as you would say from So. Taking her time, having the ball come on to her and just playing the shot late was enough for her to get the single. Her technique is there, So, but the power is in Grimmon's hands.
That sweeper cover still in place.
Grimmon sort of a cross-bat shot to mid-on. Get the single. Hits the stumps, but she's home safely.
Although she flat batted that, there wasn't a lot of power on it. And with the mid-on in, they were still able to take that single. And at the end of 15, West Indies are 70 for 4.
The decision you make today may help shape someone else's future tomorrow. Let's talk about how we can help you put together a strategy. Life insurance is in our DNA. We've been cracking the code for 175 years. With New York Life by your side, you can focus on the things that matter most. You've got dreams and responsibilities. We're here for both. New York Life. Be good at life.
Welcome back to beautiful Broward County Stadium. Lisa Ramjit operating from the commentary end. Grimmon pushes to short extra cover, no run. The protection from Ramjit, just to let the viewers know. Sweeper cover, long off, long on, deep mid wicket. So the cover is there. Don't be deceived by the run up and the bowling action. The speed of the delivery is like a spin up. Very deceptive. Ooh, just outside off stump. Used to make a joke of my bowling back in the day. I had that sort of Lisa Ramjit run up on the delivery. They said I was a spinner in a hurry.
Lisa Ramjit, very effective though. The speed at which she bowls, difficult to get away.
No matter the level of cricket, you pitch that ball on and off stump, line and length, so hard for batters to score off of. And Lisa Ramjit executing like a surgeon. Oh, across the line of the ball. Square leg is there, but the backing up by So is impeccable. They get one.
Good work there by Disha Dingrat, square leg. The ball was going quickly away from her, but she moved, got into position. Single-handed stop. and had that ball past her, an easy 2, maybe even a boundary.
Pitched up again, driven by Sao. The technique, great delivery, well played, just good cricket.
Again, we had come back to that fielding standard that we've seen in this series from both sides. It's been impeccable.
Sao's got back and across and cuts away. Sweeper cover is there. Are they going to test it for 2? They will. Ball coming back in. Sao back safely. You know, we talk about, and it's going to be a no ball instead, just to add to Lisa Ramjit's woes. So it's going to be a free hit to Sao. We've seen Sao keep her shape more often than not. Let's see if she keeps her shape as well with the free hit.
If we look at the replay of that no ball after this delivery.
So free hit, Ramjit, Sao, and Ramjit checking her run. Dead ball signaled by umpire Gagar. Reminds everyone of the free hit. 4 players outside of the circle. Pitched up, across the line, through mid-on. But the short mid-wicket is there, no run. Well executed by USA. Do they back up their bowlers?
This is the no ball again. Very well played by Saw. Gets into a really good position. You see how she pushes onto that back foot. Her head is right over the ball. Some coaches talk about smelling the ball. As the ball, especially off the back foot, you want to almost take your head, your nose to the ball. That way the weight is on the ball. So whether you're playing that backward of square or in front of square, as long as your nose or your head is close to the ball, you'll make good contact.
I love that term, smelling the ball. I'm going to use that. Shabari Bhaskar has been here for all 5 matches. She's seen every ball being bowled. She's called every ball being bowled. The ultimate professional, has shed light and really raised the bar in commentary for cricket. Iuni, the leg spinner, down the track. Oh, a missed stumping. Pat Wardan getting her opportunity for Anika Kolan behind the stumps, and that is an impossible delivery to keep against. It jumped from her toe to her shoulder in a flash. They get a bye.
Yes, Mithali Patwardhan behind the stumps has been so good today. Very tidy. This one, a very full delivery and taking off Ayuni. Unplayable batter and keeper.
Wrist spinner is invaluable. Oh, beautifully bowled and well played. Gets it long off. Gets the long single, as they would say. He's getting to the pitch of the ball. And that was a missed stumping. Grimond, 3 runs away from a half century. It'll be the first half century of the series. Down the leg side, she gets a piece of it. This one could go to the boundary. It could be Grimond's 50. No, fielded.
Bhumika Badri Raju running from short third down to fine leg, ensuring she's on 49. Still 1 run, Ryan.
Everyone is excited at Broward County Stadium. We have a DJ on hand, supporters, spectators. Last game of this historic series. Can Grimond get to the half century, the first of the series? Beautifully bowled. It's a googly appeal for LBW. Umpire Mahabir, unmoved, signals the peace sign, which is 2 deliveries left.
Brilliantly bowled by Ayuni. We saw her bowl googlies in the first game, and now, we've seen 2 googlies. Is that a single? No, mid-wicket. Tight there. Tia Gonzalez at mid-wicket. Geetika Kodali at extra cover. Patrolling these areas.
You can see the change of demeanor in Grimond. She wants to get that single. Sao is trying to back her up. Pitched up. Grimond drives. They're halfway down the wicket. Could she be run out?
Didn't pick that googly again. Tia Gonzalez bowling so well.
So Grimond's still on the ground. Umpire says not out. They
Got back in time, especially because of that dive.
They're going to the cameras. Square leg umpire was not sure. Down the wicket, inside edge, another googly by Winnie. She got halfway down the track. Great bit of fielding.
But that dive saved her. Brilliant stuff.
I'm looking at Padwadran's
Reaction.
That
Yes.
usually tells the tale.
Such tense moments.
I mean, a T20 cricket, getting a half century is almost like a century in ODIs or Test cricket. So Grimond at 49, you can understand her angst.
Yes, and it would be the first 50 of this series. She was halfway down the track, Tia Gonzalez.
Beautiful fielding, though. I mean, we saw them practice this before the game, but look at the desperation by Grimond.
Yes. A very good dive by Grimond. That commitment again.
High-level cricket. The end of the over, just to remind everyone, 78 for 4. 3 overs left. 18 deliveries, if my math doesn't let me down, and I'm sure Shabani will correct me if I was wrong. But 18 deliveries left. Okay, Shabani, this is your free hit. Gitika Kodali, what do you expect in the last 3 overs?
Well, she still has overs left. But Lisa Ramjit bowling well. Keeping it tight. But the way the West Indies are batting, especially with Grimond still at the crease, you can expect at least to get to 100. And if they can get anything more than that, that would be wonderful. But USA have really pulled them back. After the first 6 overs, West Indies were 35. And now going at 6 runs and over. 6 runs and over will take you to 120 at the end of 20. But USA, the spinners, have really pulled them back. Not just the spinners, but Disha Dhingra. 3 amazing overs.
So Ramjet, first delivery, wide delivery. Score goes to 79. So, back and across and hits the seam and straightens. So awkward to play. And somehow they don't make a single. They got halfway down the track, touch each other's shoulder, get back to the crease. They literally ran a single, but the hesitation is there. And you talked about it, Shabani, these players coming together for the first time, trying to get some chemistry. Ramjit again, this time Sau plays through the line of the ball, hits the knee of Lisa Ramjit. Get the single. Think about 2 of the overthrow, and yes, they're going to go for it. Grimond gets home safely. She's exhausted. Grimond, she's batted basically throughout the innings.
Great awareness by these West Indies batters. That ball going for an overthrow. Getting back for a second run. Every run matters.
Ramjit pitched up, and this is a thick outside edge by Sau. They don't get 2. Just gives you an indication how slow this outfield is today because of the showers yesterday.
Again, Lisa Ramjit, a bit deceptive, difficult to get away. That ball seemed like it was there to be hit, but a little slower than expected.
I'm very aware of Lisa Ramjit. I had a bowler I played with back in high school called Vijay Ramchandani, and he would have that same run-up with that same delivery, line and length, with that speed. Very deceptive. Driven, packed past the bowler. Beautiful shot by Grimond, and that's your 50. Raise your bat. Grimond, she's been spectacular. 50 off of 63. She has led the way for this West Indies team. They're at a competitive total now at 83 for 4 because of this fantastic display of batting by Grimond.
What an excellent inning so far by Grimond. Asked to opened the batting in this game and the previous game, showing her intent, aggressive at the top, but holding this West Indies innings together as well.
This time is Sau opening the shoulders a bit, getting some power to long off. Kodali has set her protection to perfection.
Grimond has showed us she can hit through the offside, through the leg side. And the shots down the ground have been so impressive, Ryan.
This one shorter, and that cross bat shot by Grimond has played with a straight bat, has played across the line no matter what, and she's ended up at 50 off of 64. The story so far this morning in the 5th game of this series between the West Indies and USA has been Grimond. She's opened the batting, 50 not out, and put the West Indies in a competitive position at 84 for 4.
It's really hot out there, and you can see Grimond. She's been batting through the innings, open the batting. She is struggling a little bit, but the heat, that sun coming down hot. There's an ad in an advertisement in India, Ryan, where there's.
I can't wait.
So it's for a Glucon-D or some energy drink, but it's basically there's the sun and there's a straw on top of a person's head, and it's pretty much saying the sun is so hot and it's drinking the energy. It's just draining the energy. The sun is drinking up the energy of a person, and then if you drink this energy drink, or you'll have the energy again. But just the visualization of the sun
I love it.
drinking.
From smelling the ball to glucose drinks, you can't get enough of it from Shabani. This trying to create some sort of power. Just to remind everyone, Dhingra is coming back into the action. She's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 7, has put West Indies in this awkward condition situation, had a fantastic delivery, a Yorker down in the leg stump, bowling, I believe it was one of the batters. Anyway, fantastic delivery. And she's had a fantastic spells thus far. So going and taking that ball from the off stump, driving it to mid-on, gets 1.
Yeah,
she has
that's how much Chetna missed by. That's what she's indicating. A quick single there by the 2 batters. But yes, she cleaned up Callender. Callender was looking good. A good partnership building between Callender and Grimond. But Disha Dhingra, just as Callender was getting going, Disha Dhingra getting her out.
Dhingra down. Oh, he's bowling. Line and length. Dhingra strikes again. The York on the leg stump. This time, perfect delivery on middle stump. Gets the job done. And Grimond with a fantastic knock. Round of applause throughout the stadium. Huge high fives by the USA team. They know the scalp they got. Grimond 50 off 65. Brilliant bowling by Dhingra. What an innings.
What a great innings comes to an end. Grimond, the architect of this score for the West Indies, has been aggressive but also anchored the innings. Not easy to do both, but a brilliant delivery to dismiss Grimond here. Dhingra right on target. Grimond couldn't do much with that. Looking to accelerate last 2 overs. Have to go for it. But Dhingra up to the task of bowling this 19th over.
She has been so steady, so accurate, Dhingra. Just the wrong bowler to go after. So the new batter is none other than Kate Wilmot, opening bowler for the West Indies. Has the strength to get the ball past the infield. Maybe get a boundary, get some 2s as we come down to the last couple of deliveries. Dhingra pitched up down the leg side. Wilmot gets a bat onto it. Short backward squares there. They get 1.
We haven't seen Wilmot bat in this series yet. But again, there's so much depth and potential, both these sides and squads.
Dhingra pitched up again, driven by Sau. It beats Dhingra. Get 1. 1 more to the total. So far, Wilmot has come and got the single. Sau gets the single. So after the wicket, They've kept the runs ticking over. 3 runs so far off of a very accurate over by Dhingra.
She's been exceptional, Disha Dhingra. Her first 3 overs only going for 7 runs and taking a wicket. Pulling things back as West Indies were, of course, going at about 6 runs and over. Disha Dhingra came on to bowl in those middle overs, a crucial period, and has helped USA control the narrative.
This was outside off stump and beautifully bowled by Dhingra to finish a fantastic spell. 4 overs, 2 for 10. And the West Indies 87 for 5. 6 deliveries left in this innings. Let's see how far they can get, and let's see who Captain Fantastic decides to bowl the last over.
Looks like she's bringing herself on, Ryan.
If you're going to do it yourself, as they say.
But it's been a good, yes, they're missing Suhani Tadani and Snigdha Paul, who've been exceptional opening the bowling for the US. But again, the depth of the squad, the potential of the players, even if you're missing 1 or 2 players, others are standing up and saying, hey, I'm here, I can do the job. It's been wonderful from both sides.
The depth of the squad, this USA squad as well, just showing how far and how many players deep they are. So, Geetika Kodali bowling the last 6 deliveries, the captain. Her cover, a long on, deep mid-wicket, a sweeper cover. She's brought her long off in, so 3 players outside of the circle. Bowling to the steady Sow, 13 off of 22. Short of a length, Sow cuts. No wide. Yes, there is a wide. Umpire Gagar thought about it for a second and got the wide signal. 1 run to the total, still 6 deliveries remaining.
And not just the bowling and the fielding, but the keeping has been really good by Mitali Patwardhan today. Other than that one brilliant delivery from Ayuni that she missed.
Again, beautiful delivery, just short of a length. Can't do much with that. Short extra cover, backs up her bowler.
Mitali has moved well, getting her hands and body behind the ball.
Kodali, Sow. Again, right on off stump. This time they get it past short extra cover and they're going to get that 1. And if Kodali can bowl 4 more deliveries on that spot, not many runs are going to be scored. Sorry, 3 more deliveries. 4 more, rather.
It's been really good by the US the last few overs. Especially West Indies look like they may get to 120 or at least 100.
Wilmot opening the face of the bat, gets 1.
But the USA bowlers not giving them much to work with.
So, does she take her chance, play through the line of the ball and try to go over along mid-off here?
She has the technique, she has the timing, she can back herself and go for it, definitely.
And she does, plays through the line of the ball, but Kodali pitches it. Oh, a direct throw, and that's it.
Chetna Prasad there at mid-off. Brilliant pick up and throw, clean pick up.
Dare you run on these fielders. Prasad stepping into it. Kodali just pitched it a little bit shorter, so Sow still tried to play through the line of the ball straight to mid-off, and she took the stumps and hit it with 1 fluid motion. Picked it up, 1 motion. Good night, good fight.
Whether you're bowling or fielding, middle and leg does the trick. Chetna Prasad there with that throw, brilliant pick up and throw at mid-off. You know the fielders are going to run. They're going to look to take on your arm. It is the last over. They're running for everything. But to keep every run matters. And with that wicket, that run is not counted. And that could be the difference.
So Nijani Kamabach steps to the crease. Because it was on a run out, the batters had already crossed, which means Wilmot will take strike. Kodali. Again, Oh, it's going to be another run out. Trying to force the action. It was a suicide single, and Cumberbatch gets run out without facing a delivery.
But I like the intent from Cumberbatch here. Yes, she's come in. The ball hasn't really left the pitch, but there are only 2 balls left in this innings. And if Geetika Kodali had panicked, if both of them had run or missed the stump, then there is a run, and every run matters. So I really, although Cumberbatch got out without facing a delivery, I like the intent here.
So the captain comes to the crease. Ashwini Monisa. Can't talk enough about her character, her spirit, how she has led this team. Win, lose, or draw, she has been a leader. Number 14. So the instructions are there. Run at any cost. Kodali bowling the last delivery. 90 for 7. Oh, she strikes through this one. It could be a boundary. It is. What a way to finish the innings. It's Wilmot coming in, playing across the line of the ball. And it's 4 runs.
She takes on Geetika Kodali. Yes, across the line of the ball, but last ball of this innings. Times it well, taking it over that mid-wicket fielder. Deep mid-wicket in place, not able to get there. A great shot there by Wilmot to finish the innings off for the West Indies. 94 for 7. Also coming back to Munisar's captaincy and character, Ryan. At such a young age, to also congratulate the other team for their good performances, recognizing how well they've done. Sportsmanship. It's been brilliant.
She has been the ultimate leader, Ashwini Monisa, and there she is taking her helmet off. And what a shot by Wilmot to finish this innings off. Now, the last time the West Indies got past 90 runs, they won that match, the second match of the series. So this 5th and final game of this 5-game series, the West Indies put into bat by the USA. They finish off at 94 for 7. A heroic innings by Grimmond. She was 50 before she was eventually bowled. Fantastic knock by her. And here's a look at the scorecard. Dominated by Grimmond, who opened the batting. 50 off of 65. But she got some support in the end.
Yeah, in between, Callender stood around with her for a bit. 13 balls for Callender, 5 runs, and Saw coming in, a good partnership there. And then Wilmot, what a brilliant finish to the innings with that boundary off of Geetika Kodali, who's been bowling so well. So they end on 94.
So a dominant performance by Grimmond. Highest score so far in this series. Bowling. We saw Vagela opening the bowling this time. 2 overs, 1 for 23. A little expensive because they rested the 2 opening bowlers in Paul and Tadani. But we saw other bowlers step up. Most notably, Disha Dhingra.
Yes. Well, Grimmond took a liking to Vagela and ripped her apart. But overall, the USA bowling has been very, very good. 11 extras today, yes, but Lisa Ramjit there bowling in the death, only giving 5 runs and over. Sai Tanmay Ayuni, we've only seen her in 2 games bowling, but today she bowled brilliantly. 4 overs, 14 runs and 1 wicket. Just 3.5 economy rate. The amount of turns she was extracting, she was bowling googlies, the confidence in the last 3 overs that she bowled, it was amazing. But Disha Dhingra stole the show. 4 overs, 10 runs, 2 wickets.
So a fantastic bowling performance after this USA team won the toss. The conditions were favorable for the bowling side. They executed, but Grimmond had other ideas. Just a fantastic knock from her. Liliana Grimmond, remember the name. 50, the first half century of the series, put West Indies in a good position. 94 for the loss of 7 wickets. USA need 95 from their 20 overs. We'll be back shortly for the second innings. Stay tuned. We are back in Broward County Stadium, and yes, those are crowds coming in, just sort of cooling things off for the players and maybe for this West Indies team who've put up 94 runs in their opening innings, and now they're on the field to defend it. USA coming in. The last time the West Indies put up a score over 90 runs, they won that match, which was the second match of this historic series between the West Indies and the USA Women's Under-19.
For the US, we have Ritu Singh and Lasya Mullapudi opening the batting. Lasya Mullapudi had the opportunity to open in one of the games. Not successful in that one. Ritu Singh has been very good in the middle order, finishing games for the US. Today asked to open. She has opened in domestic cricket in the US. And for the West Indies, we have Shalini Samaru opening the bowling.
So a little unconventional. First over being bowled by a spinner, but Samaru's been so accurate, so problematic for the US batters. And here's the first delivery to Singh. Singh drives. Now, you've always brought up the point of Ritu Singh playing softball, opening her hips quickly, trying to score, opening her shoulders. Is that problematic as an opening batter?
As long as you know your game and what you're doing, I don't think it's problematic. Yes, the bowlers will analyze your game and have plans to try to get you out or keep you quiet. But as long as you know what your game is and how you play, whether that's where your back lift comes from, how your bat comes down.
So again, just short of a length and beautifully played by Singh. It turned into a late cut. They're going to come back for two. We see the pitch playing a little bit slower than usual. Great adjustment by Singh.
Absolutely. Getting into a good position, as you said, playing that late, watching that ball onto her bat. There is a point in place, and Zayda James at point, patrolling that area like a tiger or a panther. But Ritu Singh playing that fine.
Samaru, good line and length again. Perfect for the off spinner. So, 2 deliveries remaining in the first, 2 without loss. The total 94, they scored 95 to win. Samaru, Singh, again at the late cut. It was in the air for a second or two, very safe. And one of the best fielders of the series, Zayda James, throws it back in, and Singh comes back for 2.
Zayda has been electric in the field, great with the ball. But Singh picking up another 2. You're asking about the technique, Ryan. Everyone has a different technique, and you make the technique work for you.
Samaru, James has 2, shall I say, doubles in the last 3 deliveries. And that is the end of the first over. USA 4 without loss after 1. Ritu Singh twice scored 2 runs. She's 4 after 6 deliveries. And a chance for Mullapudi to get her first strike. And within seconds, we'll let you know. Looks like it's going to be Wilmot, the medium pacer coming down the hill.
Looks like Calendar, actually. We saw her bowl a brilliant first ball, in-swinging Yorker to clean up. The USA batter, after that, had an expensive over a previous game. Today, opening the bowling. They don't have Katie Jazz Mitchell in their ranks today, resting. She did have an injury in the 3rd game.
Yeah, we saw Katie Jazz Mitchell grabbing her calf with an injury in game number 3. So, like Shabani quite rightly said, not Wilmot, but Calendar, coming from the northern end, coming down the hill, perfect for the medium pacer. And she has a 3rd man. That's the only player outside of the circle. No, a 3rd man and a fine leg. So a wide delivery. You could see the extra pace by Calendar.
Yes, Calendar has that extra pace, and she swings the ball well. Is able to extract bounce, but she has been a bit wayward in the previous games.
Calendar, oh, beautiful delivery. Just short of a length, and they're going to go for one. And she's home safely. Great running, great backing up by Ritu Singh. Certainly one of the quicker bowlers we've seen so far in this series, Calendar.
The ball getting up there as well, hitting the bat hard. So you can see the pace on the ball, but not just how fast you bowl, but she's bowling a heavy ball. So when the ball is hitting the bat hard, that means the bowler is bowling a heavy ball, so hard to get away.
So again, just the fine leg and the third man. Protection behind the wicketkeeper. Singh. Oh, shortish delivery and turned away. Looks like it came off the glove. They think of two. Mulapuri says no thank you.
We haven't seen bouncers in this series, but this one getting up there. Ritu Singh in a good position, getting inside the line of the ball. Very good technique, even though she may not have hit it well in terms of timing. She was in great position, and watch that ball.
Calendar. Oh, that's another. She tried another short ball, but it was so wayward. Easy call from umpire Mahabir. So the extras starting to add up, something the West Indies cannot afford.
They have bowled quite a few extras, especially in the first two games, 22 in each game. Yes, winning the second game. Other than the extras, though, their legal deliveries have been good.
Calendar, that's better with the line and length. Still coming across the left-hander. So has the opportunity to pitch it on leg stump and let it come across the left-hander's body.
Lasya Mullapudi there, turning it off her hips very nicely, giving the strike back to Ritu Singh. The right-left combination again. The fielders need to change quickly as well. Don't have a lot of time in a T20.
Shortish delivery again. Well played by Singh. Loving the technique, back and across, getting in line like you said, Shabani.
Also, a lot of the girls grow up playing against men and boys, so they're used to pace, but Calendar is turning it up here.
Like to see the extra fire in the delivery. Calendar. Singh. Outside of stump. Umpire Mahabir decides against the wide.
Just inside that wide line. Ball swinging in. Just a bit.
So batting at 3, 1 down as we'd say. Lisa Ramjet waiting patiently, hoping she does not have to come in anytime soon. But with the speed of Calendar, if she can pitch that ball just short of a length on the off stump. Outside off stump, no wide call, and that's the end of the second over. It is 9 without loss.
Samaru continuing from this end. That's been their formula. When Mitchell was there, Mitchell and Samaru, they bowled 8 overs straight. In that second game, keeping USA quiet, picking up wickets as well. Mitchell took 3, Samaru took 1. Went on to win that game. Samaru has been so good opening the bowling. Off spinner, opening the bowling. Usually we see when spinners do open the bowling, they might bowl 1 or 2 and then come back later. But to bowl your 4 out, not an easy task.
So Samaru to the left-handed Mulapuri. Beautiful delivery. Mullapudi looking for one. No chance. Not with James at point.
Also good to see that slip is in place for Calendar as well as Shalini.
This one on, middle and off. Punch the mid on. They get the one. Good running between the wickets. Mullapudi so quick.
Taking on that fielder at mid on, sorry. A wayward throw. A direct hit or closer to the stumps may have been interesting. But good intent here from Mullapudi.
So we can see the amount of movement there is with the right-hander and left-hander combination. Samaru is bringing in that offside fielder and now have two players out on the boundary, a deep mid wicket and a deep backward square for anything short if Ritu Singh decides to pull. Pitched up and Ritu Singh gets under this one and it's going to be over mid-off. One bounce, two bounces into the ropes. First boundary of the evening. And Ritu Singh goes to 9.
Brilliant shot there. Both fielders straight inside the circle, taking on Shalini Samaru, going straight. And she's done that consistently in this series, so backing herself to do it again. Putting the bowler on the back foot.
Samaru immediately pulling in the deep backward square and sending out a long off, just so she can pitch the ball up comfortably and have protection. This one's a little flatter, a little shorter, just like every bowler who's been hit back over the top. Next delivery, you can bank on it being shorter and flatter, and Samaru obliges.
And she's been consistent with her lines and lengths. Yes, changing it up, but changing it up intentionally.
Again, that is the line, that is the length. Not much Singh can do with it.
So I like her pulling that square leg fielder into the circle and pushing that long off fielder back. Backing herself to bowl it nice and full.
That one spun a mile, came right back into the hands of Ritu Singh. And that's the end of 3 overs. It is 14 without loss. So I've heard the glucose commercial. Any commercials stand out in India that you want to talk about? Is there a tea commercial? I'm dying to hear all about it.
There are plenty of tea commercials, most of them
And
all the same.
And your favorite tea will be?
I don't drink tea,
do
Ryan.
not drink tea?
No
So
tea, no coffee.
family has a tea favorite, or
No, not necessarily.
Okay,
We drink all different flavors.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it interesting. Cardamom, mint, chamomile.
The Bhaskar family having a wide range of teas in Chennai, India. As Calendar Bros is second over, and Paya Mahabir is going to call another wide. We want to see Calendar just shorten things up and just control her line and length. But she really just wants to let it fly, being the last game of this 5-game series. USA leading 3-1. Just wants to cut loose like any fast bowler should.
Yeah, that wide line again, just an indicator.
Calendar. That's just short of it. Like there's an appeal by slip. Brilliant delivery by Calendar. Every so often she just delivers a peach. So Ryan Davis, Shabani Bhaskar, after we've talked your ears off for the last 5 days, we are being joined by the person who is responsible for this historic tour, as Calendar bowls to Mullapudi, who pushes it to third man. They're going to get one. A single pushes it to 16 without loss. And we are joined by Nadia Grooney. Nadia, I want you to make it clear what your new position is. You've just been appointed. by the USA Cricket Board. Please clarify that. Nadia Grooney, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ryan, and good afternoon to everyone. Ryan, I've been reappointed to the board. I've been serving on the USA Cricket Board since 2018, and this is now my second term.
Second term. Just short of a little delivery by calendar, right up into the chest area. So, Nadia, how long did it take to put this event together?
As a matter of fact, Ryan, this event has been in the works for, I would say, over a year. Wow. Not the operational side of it, but at least the discussions with Cricket West Indies on creating opportunities in the region to support the development of women's cricket.
So, going on tour to the West Indies for the upcoming Stars series just a month or two ago, did that accelerate talks, or was it just same old?
Oh no, at that point, this series was already confirmed with Cricket West Indies. We agreed on a sort of reciprocal arrangement where we visited them in the West Indies. They have provided fantastic support to us, to our team while we were there. And in return, they would bring their team over here later on in the summer, which is what's happening today.
Have to ask this question. The hardest thing that you had to do over the last year and change to get the tour together?
It would definitely be pulling together the finances. You know, at USA Cricket, we're still a very young organization, and with that, of course, you know, there are also huge ambitions and goals. It's a large country, and resources, it's always an issue. So to be able to gather those funds, raise those funds to support these ladies and make this event happen, I would say has been the biggest challenge.
A quick single to finish the over there. 4 overs gone, USA 18 for no loss, looking good.
Do not adjust your TV or your stream. This is now turned into the Nadia Shabani Ryan Show. And we're presented by all different sort of sponsors. Talking about sponsors, Nadia, putting together the finances, how hard or how easy was it to get people to buy in?
You know, Ryan, a very interesting part of getting the sponsors on board is the support of volunteers and parents themselves and the community to an extent to help identify those sponsors. It's really truly been a community effort, just all around, and there have been very strong leads that the community has, and so we've been able to get the support that we need to get us over the line.
Samara Ramnath getting ready for her first delivery. Lasya Mullapudi pulls back. Not ready yet.
So as we continue to talk about the scenic Broward County Stadium, some clouds coming in, making it nice and cool for the West Indian players to field in. Getting this ground available for USA Cricket, was there a challenge? Did Broward County Stadium buy into the opportunity? What was that like?
Yeah, the national events. Must give a shout out to Worldwide Sports Management Company, which is a local Florida sports event management company. They are responsible for also organizing and hosting the men's T20 series between West Indies and India, which just concluded a weekend ago. They have also supported in helping us secure these facilities and ensure that all of our logistics are in place. So it's really been a three-party sort of arrangement to make this event happen, and we could not have done it without them.
Going forward, what's the next steps for USA Cricket? First of all, women's, and then we'll talk U19. Women's Cricket USA, what's next on the horizon?
Next up, we've got the ICC Global T20 qualifier that's happening in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi to be exact. Our women's team is going to go there a bit early, play in a quadrangular series against Thailand, UAE, Zimbabwe, and us. And so that's going to be an interesting T20I series. It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be an opportunity for our team to work on climbing the ladder in terms of our team ranking. And then they'll enter into the global T20 qualifier, of which the top teams are going to be participating in the T20 World Cup in South Africa next February.
So Ramnath finishes the over number 5, almost getting a wicket. Just taking a quick look at that replay. Ball angling in.
Ritu Singh and Lasya Mullapudi.
Well, that's one way to get back into the game. If you're not going to get wickets, get dot balls. The batters are going to get a little bit unsettled. Oh, pull away by Mullapudi. Mid wicket is there. They get the 1.
And the 50 is up for USA after 10 overs and for no wickets lost. Motoring on here, USA.
So we have some of the best, or the best broadcast team this side of Florida. There's rain on the field, and we already have help adjusting the cameras. Just so committed, and looks like the umpires are having a discussion on whether they want to continue.
But the bowling card for the West Indies here, Shalini Samaru. 2 overs, 9 runs. Calendar opening the bowling today. We saw some fury, fast bowling, bouncers and whatnot. But a bit expensive. Samara Ramnath, just 10 off her 3. And Zeta James, 10 runs off her 2.
So drinks are on the field. The light drizzle is there.
The decision you make today may help shape someone else's future tomorrow. Let's talk about how we can help you put together a strategy. Life insurance is in our DNA. We've been cracking the code for 175 years. With New York Life by your side, you can focus on the things that matter most. You've got dreams and responsibilities.
If any significant rain should occur, they'll be on there in a flash. One of the benefits playing in an international stadium like Broward County, the support, the standard is high as Ramnath bows to Mullapudi. Mullapudi uses the feet, drives well, beats extra cover. Mid-off is not going to get there, and it's 4 more. Beautifully struck boundary to the offside by Mullapudi.
Attacking field set here for Samara Ramnath, Lasya Mullapudi. Beautiful footwork, getting into a great position, piercing that gap between extra cover and mid-off.
Ramnath turns, ball pitched outside the line of leg stump, not out.
The USA batting has improved game after game. We saw Geetika Kodali finishing the first game off for the U.S., staying not out in the second. But after that, your top order has stood up. You had Mithali Patwardhan opening the batting, scoring 30 not out. Then you had Disha Dhingra scoring 37 not out. And today, Ritu Singh and Lasya Mullapuri putting on a brilliant partnership for the U.S.
So much so that Lisa Ramjit was standing on deck just in case somebody out. She's had enough of the rain and the weather. She's gone back under the tent. She's like, okay, these players have it covered. Ramnath Singh opens up. And that's out. Straight to point. No, extra cover rather. It was Samaru waiting. The ball pitched up by Ramnath Singh trying to get under it. And Samaru was waiting.
Ritu Singh winding up as we've seen her do all day this time. Straight to cover. Extra cover there. Shalini Samaru, brilliant all-rounder. Not gonna miss that one. But a brilliant innings from Ritu Singh. 28 off just 32 deliveries coming to an end. West Indies get their first wicket. USA 55 for 1.
Well, a much needed wicket for the West Indies just to put some doubt in this USA overall mind. So finally, Lisa Ramjit has to come out of the tent. So a change in batting order. So Lisa Ramjit has now been pulled, and the opening bowler, Sani Vaghela, comes in at 1 down, who's well set at 21 off 32. But the West Indies, valuable wickets. So Ramnath will bowl to the right-handed Vaghela. Have a funny feeling they want to keep up that left-handed, right-handed combination and promoting Vaghela to 1 down. Give us some time at the crease as well. This one's pitched on midland leg.
Vaghela, a strong batter, aggressive as well. Her areas are deep mid-wicket, but also very strong through that cover region. Drives very well with power.
Ramnath, better delivery, tight line and length. That's how she got Ritu Singh out. And that's the end of a very successful over. Gave up a boundary at the beginning, but got the valuable wicket of Ritu Singh. 55 for 1 after 11. 95 the target.
And when you talk about Isani Vaghela, yes, she's strong through mid-wicket and the cover region. And just when you think you've got that covered, she pulls out these deft touches through the third man region and getting boundaries there. So you set a field, you have a sweeper cover, you have a deep mid-wicket, long off, long on, because she's good. She has plenty of power. And then she's glancing the ball and then using her wrists to get that ball through the point and third man regions and getting boundaries there. So again, a very talented all-rounder.
Well, the skipper, Ashwini Munisa from Guyana, takes the ball and says, I'll do this myself. And it's coming from the northern end, bowling to the left-handed Mullapuri. Mullapuri pulls this away. So quick with the wrist.
Mullapuri's plans are clear. Anything short on the legs, she is going back, pulling, doing that consistently.
So for the right-handed Vaghela, there's a sweeper cover, long off, long on, and a sweeper in mid-wicket. 4 players outside of the circle, and they decide against it and bring the sweeper cover in. Has to be because Vaghela's only faced 2 deliveries. Monisa. And he goes after it, and brilliant piece of batting by Vaghela. They brought in the cover, immediately gets under the delivery and puts it over for a very safe single.
Again, we were just talking about how she's strong through the cover area and pulling that right out as soon as she comes in, going over the top. enough bat on it to carry over the inner circle. That brings Lassia back on strike.
Oh, beautifully bowled by Munisa. Well played by Mulapuri.
Very full delivery. Very smart.
Oh, and this is a full toss. Didn't get all of it, Mulapuri. Let's see what the umpire Mahabia decides. Not too high. Gives the signal for 2. Munisa on the legs and appeal, half-hearted. You know, even though the ball is going down the leg side, you can see her spirit. She appeals wholeheartedly. It's just her drive. It's just her drive.
Go up and appeal.
It's infectious.
And now sending that sweeper cover back, just with 2 balls remaining in this over.
Beautiful delivery. This one outside off stump with a little bit of flight, a little bit of air. And that is the end of her over. 12 overs gone, 55 for 1.
A good tight over there by Munisar, just 3 runs off it.
You know, I want to talk about gear. You've played with a lot of bats, a lot of different brands and so on. What bat do you bat with now?
I have a range of bats in terms of SS, MRF, different brands, RG, Ladybird. I really just depends on that specific piece of Willow. But I like to keep my bats light.
Light bats, okay.
Yes.
Driven through. See a change of bowling for the West Indies. It's Navina Ramnath bowling from the commentary end. Want to talk about bowl. Oh, the run off of James. It could be out. Gets back only because this is speedy Mulapuri. Anyone else, they'll be back in the pavilion. Suicide single, Shabani.
Not with Zeta James there. She was on it so quickly.
Look at the
Came in about 5 strides.
Again, right into the block hole, and they will go after one, and they get it safely. Brilliant backing up by Vagela.
Both these batters so quick between the wickets. As long as they're communicating and have their plans clear on which runs they're looking to take, they can make these quick singles. But coming back to the question of gear, Ryan, oftentimes I'm only 5'4", and if I use a full-size bat, like a short handle that is made for men, usually 5'6", 5'8", then it's a little too big. So I prefer to go with the size 6 or hair. Nicely picked up there by Isani Vagela. Full and outside leg stump. Pulls out the sweep. No deep square leg in place.
This is harder than it looks. Beautifully executed sweep shot, 4 runs. Have a quick story for you. Playing high school cricket, I went to the same high school as Brian Charles Lara. And I had all these bats that I used, like multiple bats, Cranicle, Slazenger. And then he's playing for the West Indies, and he comes back into my high school, and I ask him to borrow my bat for my next match. And I'm representing the school, and we play in the illustrious Queen's Park Oval, and I scored a 50 with his bat. Let me tell you something. Those bats that those guys use.
What a ball. What a ball by Navina Ramnath to clean up Isani Vagela. Going back on a full delivery, missing it completely. Beautifully bowled, Navina Ramnath.
Look at Ramnath coming on, getting her chance and taking a chance. Beautifully delivered off break. Into the stumps of Vagela. She departs. Lisa Ramjet, who has weathered the storm outside, waiting for her turn, finally gets her turn. 63 for 2, 32 more off of 43. This game's still very much in the balance. But with Mullapudi dictating the traffic, it could be easier than it seems. Brilliant job by Ramnath to get the breakthrough. So those bats that those professional players used, I don't know if it's personally made or what, but as we would say in my country, chalk and cheese. It was completely different to the bat I was using. I think it came with runs.
You have different qualities of willow. You have different grades, and within each grade, you have A and B as well. So if you go grade 1, then you have A and B. And of course, for international players, good ball first up, but well played by Lisa Ramjet, getting close to it. Sweeper cover, a single taken. Good over. Important breakthrough for the West Indies, Navina Ramnath. USA 64 for 2 after 13. But coming back to bats and quality of willow, Ryan, an international player, it takes a long time. There are so many bats made, and it takes a long time for them to get, if you take SS for example, it takes a long time for them to get a grade 1A willow. So when they get that, that is not available in the open market, because those bats are going to contracted players, to players who play for national teams. It goes to a Virat Kohli. Exactly. It goes to a Virat Kohli. It goes to the top players around the world, the international players. So then what is available in the market is grade 1B or grade 2. Nicely bowled here, Monisar. But worked well by Lisa Ramjet to mid-on, getting that quick single.
So they're not open to the open market, so I never had a chance to bat with a good bat unless I met Mr. Brian Lara and asked him to borrow his bat. So Mullapudi, 24 of 38, directing traffic, as I would like to say. We saw the hard-hitting Ritu Singh leave her mark on the game. She was eventually caught at extra cover. And Mullapudi uses her feet well. No run.
Janaba Joseph there at mid-wicket. Ball's not passing her.
Down the wicket she comes again. Mullapudi. Outside part of the bat, but it was well directed. Sliding stop by James. Easy 2.
Good cricket here by Lasya Mullapudi. She's been placing the ball towards point, and Zayda James has been coming in because they've been looking for that single. And if you look at that replay, Zayda James is very far in, and Lasya Mullapudi hit that with power. And over the top, had Zayda James been in a conventional point position without coming in so much, that may have been a catch. But because Lasya has pulled her in with the singles she's been trying to take and the soft hands that she's been playing with, Zayda James has come in and has opened up that option for Lasya.
I'm about to ask Shabani about taxes and finances and all this because the sort of information we're getting has been spectacular. Thank you, Shabani. Full toss, and Mullapudi's got all of it. There is some cover out there. Come back for a long 2. But Monisa, whether the ball slipped out of her hands or is an attempted well-pitched delivery, Mullapudi is seeing the ball the size of a grapefruit.
She took her time to get in, building a good partnership with Ritu Singh, and then she's kicking on as well.
This one cut away this time by Mullapudi. Deep cover. Grimmond, best fielder with James on the field. And that is the end of Munisar's over. 14 overs gone. 70 for 2. USA right now at 5 runs and over, above the required run rate, and are slowly moving their way to the required target of 95. 25 more to win in 36 deliveries. Shabani nods her head in agreement, which means I got the math correct.
You're giving me a lot of credit here, Ryan. I'll take some tax credit if you can give it to me, but thank you.
I know again. I'll ask him.
But West Indies still very much in this game. A few wickets, and the equation becomes tighter and tighter. Dot balls build up that pressure. Still plenty of work to do.
So Ramnath, just an observation, her arm comes wide and Mulapuri uses her feet beautifully. They miss field and they get home safely.
Ricocheted off that extra cover fielder. Looked like Ramnath got into a good position. A bit of a stronger throw and Lisa Ramjit would have been in trouble. But got home safe.
We saw the incredible innings by Grimond. Now we're seeing Mulapuri. Batters have stepped up today and delivered for their teams. Simple.
We talked about how the pitch is wet because of the rain and all of that, but the batters have adapted brilliantly from both sides. Beautifully driven there by Lisa Ramjit. The reaching for it, getting into a good position, using her feet.
Question.
Yes.
At the beginning of this over, there were 36 deliveries left, now 34. Shabani is now impressed. Do you start bringing the field in? Do you encourage the batter now to take chances to get the boundary and stop the single?
That is the golden question. How much do you attack? How aggressive should you be? And if it pays off. When it pays off, it looks brilliant. When it doesn't, then you're like, oh, you should have just kept that fielder back. It also depends on how much confidence your bowler has and how confident you are in your bowler to execute the lines and lengths required when you keep that fielder in.
Sweep shots. Brilliant bit of wicket keeping by Sau.
Seemed to go off the pad of Lisa Ramjit, so not given as a wide.
Sau had a neat innings towards the end at 14. Supported Grimond for her to get her 50. Ramnath. Driven down the ground, and Ramnath, I believe it came off the ground, not sure.
Yeah, looked like a bump ball. Try to get a hand to it, unable to stop that ball.
So a bump ball is what you call that?
It's a bump
ball. I love
ball.
that. So we've learned smelling the ball just to give yourself time. And now a bump ball. I'm keeping notes. Driven off the ground. Ramnath gets a left hand to it.
Mulapuri using her feet again. When that single is on offer, take it. And that's what she does. 15 overs. USA 75 for 2. But coming back to pulling some fielders in, yes, you're allowed 4 fielders outside the circle. But when you're trying to defend something and you have we'll talk about this after this break.
The decision you make today may help shape someone else's future tomorrow. Let's talk about how we can help you put together a strategy. Life insurance is in our DNA. We've been cracking the code for 175 years. With New York Life by your side, you can focus on the things that matter most. You've got dreams and responsibilities. We're here for both. New York Life. Be good at life.
Captain Monisa bowling the 16th over. She has a deep mid wicket, a long on, long off, and a deep cover. And here comes deep cover to field this one. It's Grimond. Star of the show today, 50. Eventually was bowled, trying to get a move on in the latter part of the inning.
Good partnership building here between Lasya Mulapuri and Lisa Ramjit.
Ramjit trying to steer it past fly slip. She does. gets one, and that's what Ramjit has done. Know your role. Mulapuri's well in. She's well versed at this point. Just try to keep it ticking. Don't do anything special. Make contact into the gaps. Run the quick single.
Yeah, she's on 5 off 6 deliveries, so she hasn't wasted any time keeping those singles ticking over with Lassia.
Mulapuri down the ground, drives. Thinking of 2. Just the long one.
The West Indies fielders have been so good in the field, and their throws have been very good from the deep. Sometimes direct, sometimes one bounce.
Word out of the West Indies camp is that there will be camps coming up for this West Indies team. This series has been invaluable. The USA have gotten a chance to look at a broad range of players. They've used their depth. It's a 15-player squad. You've used all 15 players on the regular. And now the West Indies only managed to get 12 to the US. However, invaluable playing time. Time out of the crease, time with the ball in their hand, time fielding. And that's a sweep shot. Deep mid wicket is there. Just the long one. Oh, an overthrow. Nope, just the one.
Again, we see that. A bullet arm from the deep.
That was
brilliant
impressive
stuff.
If that was me at the deep, the ball was still bouncing, Shabani. Helplessly to the keeper.
Kate Wilmot there. So impressive the fielding has been. We've talked a lot about the USA and what they've done, but if you look at the West Indies, plenty of performances with the ball, with the bat. Some all-round performances as well. 16 overs up. USA are 80 for 2.
Just word out of the West Indies is that they are going to have camps for these girls at this level and at the older level, so they can get the pool together, harness that talent, and really start putting a good product out in the field. You and I mentioned these two teams in the World Cup, Women's Under-19 World Cup, coming up in
January in South Africa.
Tried to throw one at Chobani there. She caught it lovely in the slips. And in South Africa in January. So these teams trying to get ready. So they have to play competitive cricket in order to be sharp when they take the field. So Cricket West Indies are going to have those camps, and USA are going to continue along their path, having camps. We heard from Nadia Grooney earlier on in the innings, and she laid out the path for the USA Under-19s as well as the USA Adult Cricket. And Nadia Grooney heard her name, and she came right back to the desk to steal Shabani's pen. But we carry on with Samaru.
Again, Samaru on the money, right? On the stumps, a full delivery. Difficult for Lassia Mulapuri to get away. But we need to remember, in the Rising Stars tournament, the USA played as one unit, and there's only been one change since that tournament in the squad. But if you look at the West Indies, this is the first time these 12 players are playing together as a West Indies unit. They play for their respective islands, for their respective countries in the Rising Stars tournament. The first time an Under-19 World Cup is going to happen in January next year. But the first time these players are taking the field together.
Oh, beautiful stumping. Mulapuri left stranded. Saw was quick as a flash, and Ramnath delivered a beauty.
Samaru, brilliant bowling. She's been attacking the stumps the previous two deliveries. This one tossing it up and bowling it wider, outside off stump, bringing Lassia, dragging her out of the crease. Brilliant piece of work behind the stumps by Chanel Saw to complete that dismissal. So USA 80 for 2 here. Things getting interesting.
The wide delivery by Samaru did the trick. So we have Nadia Grooney back on. Easily the most important person in the grounds today. Nadia, what's going on?
I wouldn't say that, Ryan. We've got at least 22 girls out there more who are definitely the star of the show. No, it can be more true.
So 80 for 3. 15 off of the last 21. That wicket now, Shabani, has made things interesting.
Very interesting. Chetna Prasad, we have seen her open. She is an opener, can play in the middle order. She has played in the middle order for the U.S. senior team back in Mexico last year.
And you heard it right, Mexico.
But Samaru has this over and one more after this. How important is she going to be?
Brilliant by Samaru. She saw Prasad coming across and followed her by keeping the ball outside off stump.
And kept it full too. Had she bowled it shorter, it would have been easy to convert.
Correct. Oh, just short of a length.
Again, we've seen Samaru with the bat, with the ball in the field. A brilliant all-rounder.
Just to remind everyone, after the play on the field, we have awards, interviews, presentations to be had about this historic event. USA Women's Under-19 hosting the first youth tour, cricket tour, in this fantastic country, and it's West Indies Women's Under-19. Women's cricket leading the way.
Crucial 3 overs here. And who do they ask to bowl it? Zeta James. Dependable. She's been so good with the ball in the field, but also with ball in hand. Today a bit more expensive than the previous days, but still a very smart bowler. Mixes it up in terms of amount of turn imparted and lines that she bowls. No, looked like Zeta James.
So it looks like Captain Munisa will continue from that end. So the off spinner bowling to the right-handed Ramjit. They got the prize wicket of Mullapuri in the last over, courtesy Samaru. But Munisa to Ramjit. Ramjit down the ground, gets it on the full, beautifully played.
But great work there by Janaba Joseph at extra cover. Usually bowlers and fielders keep the batters guessing. They're keeping us guessing too here, Ryan. Not knowing who's going to bowl the ball.
I've been guessing since I woke up this morning. This one is through, long on. They're going to get one.
Looking for the second there, Chetna Prasad, not on offer. Good work in the deep, keeping that down to 1. Lisa Ramjit using her feet, converting that as a full toss.
81 for 3, 14 off 16. The balls are catching up to the runs that are needed. Exactly what the West Indies want. What USA need right now is a boundary to ease the pressure, and that will spell disaster for the Windies. Munisa, just short of a length, as tight as you can get.
Keeping it flat and fast on the stumps, not giving Chetna Prasad any room to work with. Again, Chetna Prasad just coming in after the wicket of Mullapuri. Inside edge, takes a quick single. Can they push for 2?
Well, they thought about it for a second, but looks like Ramjit overran his crease.
She trusted her partner and ran, but wasn't sure exactly where the ball went, Lisa. But good to see that commitment.
So Ramjit keeping it ticking over, 7 off of 10. Down the track she comes, using her feet beautifully, Ramjit. Settling in. But Munisar has been varying her length and the flight. Just whips this off the pads. They're going to go for the suicide single. Home safely. Prasad backing up. She was the one who made the call. So, the end of 18 overs, 83 for 3, 12 deliveries remaining, 12 runs required.
A brilliant over by Ashmini Munisar, captain, standing up, only giving 3 runs in that 18th over. Crucial over.
We've come to expect it from these two teams in this series, coming down to the wire. We look at totals. We saw the West Indies put a score over 90 runs in the second game, and they won that game. They did so again today, and we're now coming down to that nail-biting end with 12 off 12.
Exciting stuff here. Last over for Samaru.
Beautifully played. Patience. James. One more to the total. 11 off 11.
Zeta James has been so good in the field. But maybe one thing that could be thought about is when you're going for a run out, especially in the bowler's end, and passing it to the fielder.
Down the track and over the top. Long on comes in. Just in between. And they're going to go for two. Can it be a run out? It is!
Off fielder running in, attempting that catch, that ball dropping short. The USA batters, Lisa Ramjit and Chetna Prasad, seeing an opportunity for a possible second.
Kate Wilmot, quick off of the boundary, doesn't get there. They go for the suicide second, panic setting in. Look at the throw, Shabani.
We've seen Wilmot and her throws directly from the boundary. This time, a direct hit. Chetna Prasad not even in the frame. What a moment in the game. Could this be the game changer?
It opens the door for Captain Fantastic. She's done it in the first, she did at least in the first game. Came into the second, was within a hairline of converting in the second. And now she comes in that traditional closer role. The required runs, 11 runs, now off of 10 deliveries. So, can she do it again? Geetika Kodali.
But she's up against Shalini Samaru, who's been on top of her game, bowling brilliantly. In her first 3 overs, only gave 9 runs.
This one's flighted up, gets all of it. It's Wilmot. Get the long one.
Don't chance her arm, Ryan. Wilmot has been on fire in the field, getting direct throws into the bowler from the boundary.
This one shorter by Samaru, holding it back. They continue to get these singles. You can see it getting under the skin of Samaru.
A good drop and run there by Lisa Ramjit. Yes, there is a short cover in place, but still playing it soft enough for an easy single. And Geetika Kodali responding.
There's a deep mid wicket, a deep cover. Long on, long off. Kodali tries to get it, but excellent fielding at that short cover.
After that previous delivery, they switched that fielder out at extra cover. Now Calendar is patrolling that area.
Last ball of the 19th. Kodali swings through. Could it be a boundary? It is! She did it again, Shabani.
What a brilliant shot. It was outside the off stump. She saw that gap between long on and deep mid wicket. Going one bounce into the fence. Strong shot. 19 overs up. Last over. 4 runs to win.
Well, talk about taking the pressure off of your team. Kodali taking the risk, going with the turn, and getting a boundary. Now 4 to win, 3 to tie. Question is, how many fielders do you put on the boundary? It's Lisa Ramjit, who's been ticking the score over since she's come in. 10 or 14.
West Indies will defend the 4 runs, or USA will take the series 4-1.
And
Looks
they
like
leave the responsibility to Zeta James, left arm orthodox, to bowl to the right-handers. No longer hitting with the turn, going to have to go against the turn to get any power on the onside.
Yeah, Zeta James has been bowling well through this series. As we spoke about earlier, that arm ball, getting the odd ball to turn, keeping the batters guessing has been difficult to get away. Just trying to get the angles right for her fielders. Very crucial. If your long off is too straight, then you expose yourself behind the cover region.
James, first delivery, short extra cover, they go for a run. Oh, Kodali's in trouble, she's gone.
Captain Munisar at extra cover. What a brilliant piece of work. That ball hit straight to the extra cover fielder. Yes, hit fairly firmly, but Munisar makes no mistake, collecting it cleanly. Good throw, but also excellent by Saw to collect that. It was on the bounce, collected that, and ensuring Kitika Kodali is out. What a moment. Big moment in the game.
We're trying to catch our breath. Ramjit was on the non-strikers and she knew it. She put her bat up in disbelief. Didn't have to even turn around. It was such a suicide single. And now the captain, the big hit in, Kitika Kodali, back in the pavilion. And we have Tia Gonzalez, who had an important last-minute inning in the first match, I believe it was, with Kodali to bring it home for USA. Gets her opportunity again. The runners have crossed. Ramjit off of strike. Gonzalez, 5 balls remaining. 3 to tie, 4 to win. I'm on my feet. Pitched up. No chance of a run, not even for this speedy Ramjit.
Zeta James. A brilliant 2 balls, the first one resulting in a run out.
Fielders are in. Cut away and missed. The balls are disappearing. 3 to tie, 4 to win. 3 deliveries remaining. James. Again short, cut away. Stopped by point. They get 1. Wow.
If you take that run out that happened on the first delivery, credit has to be given to the bowler as well for bowling the kind of delivery that would go straight to that extra cover fielder. You have strong fielders at extra cover and mid-wicket. 3 runs to win here.
Down the ground, long on is out there. They're going to get the 1. Ball quickly comes back in and they can go for the win. The score is now tied on an overthrow.
You always want a direct hit, but not in this instance. That direct hit gave USA the opportunity to run a second run.
Well, game number 5 in this historic series, and guess what? It comes down to the last delivery to decide game number 5. USA have already won this series 3 games to 1, but these players have taken it to the last delivery. We can't go any further. This is it. Last ball of the second inning. Zeta James going to bowl it to Ramjit. 1 run to win. The game is already tied. Can we have an historic tie to finish the series? Everyone holding their breath. James is quicker. Cut away. Oh, dropped! And that's it. The USA win. They run onto the field. A drop catch at point, and somehow the USA pull it off. Shabani, could it have been the overthrow just the ball before?
The overthrow and the possibility of that catch. What a brilliant game coming down to the wire to the last ball. Scores tied with 1 ball remaining. Kate Wilmot, who's been so good in the field, had that direct hit run out to dismiss Chetna Prasad. Unable to hold on to that one. But what a series it's been for both sides. This has been the level of play. The game coming down to the last ball. Exciting, intense, entertaining, to say the least.
Well, we're just about to release our breath. USA, West Indies, women's under 19 have put on a show for the ages. USA win the last game on the last ball, a drop catch. They hurry through for the single. They win this historic series by 4 games to 1. What an effort by the West Indies, who had to travel a long way, put on a show, and the USA squad have been brilliant for all 5 games.
The West Indies will remember this close game, the way they won the second game by 1 run, but losing this game, such small margins. I think they're going to come out fighting so strong in January. It's going to be so exciting. These 2 teams putting on a show for us. 5 games, 5 exciting games. Women's cricket going up.
You said it, Shabani, leading the way in this country. Historic event, first full ICC youth team touring the USA, and it's West Indies cricket coming in, playing the USA Women's U19. USA win the series by 4 games to 1, and they've put on just an exhibition of cricket, led by Chandapol and Cricket West Indies in this beautiful, scenic Broward County Stadium. Want to thank everyone who's joined us over the last week. It's been thrilling, to say the least. Shabani Bhaskar has been here and has commentated and directed traffic and explained the unexplainable to us in the last 5 games. Shabani, we can't thank you enough, and we will see you downstairs for a couple of words for the presentation. But for everyone, for the entire broadcast team, we want to thank everybody. But before we do that, we're going to cover the match summary, starting off with Liliana Grimmond.
Saving her best for the last game, Liliana Grimmond scored a brilliant 50, the first and only 50 of this series, leading West Indies to 94 for 7. Disha Dhingra, the pick of the bowlers there, picked up 2 wickets, bowled real tight, only gave 10 runs. And then USA's reply, starting so well with Ritu Singh and Lasya Mullapudi. They had a 50-plus run opening partnership, putting USA in the driver's seat. But West Indies came back with wickets. Ramnath picking up 1, Samaru picking up 1, a couple of runouts in the mix as well. But Lisa Ramjit at the end, and Tia Gonzalez taking the team home.
I'm glad you reminded us about the opening partnership, because that daunting total of 95 was made possible by that fantastic opening partnership by the USA between Singh and I believe it was Mullapudi. So, at the end of 5 fantastic games, USA win by 4 games to 1. Every game has been a thriller, none so than this one, the 5th game. USA winning on the last ball, scoring the winning runs. For Shabani Bhaskar, my name is Ryan Davis. We're going to go downstairs and give out presentations, have interviews, talk to the people who were involved in this series. We'll be back shortly in only a few minutes.
a switch. So what them every man and every girl have this. Nick no friend who fit us from the tip. Give my one shoes and learn and the will. Nick enough of them. Lose them sweat the game the well. You know switch for the table 10. You know friend who put Benz on table. Nick no sell out him friends don't need that. Enough of them. Lose them sweat the game the well. You know switch for the table 10. When you jump on
hey, early, what I mean at first. Our dreams are short. We're real living our path. They feel the eye. Hey, I think you're represented for me, everybody sounds. I shouldn't do that. Hey, everybody, what I mean at first. Our dreams are short. We're real living our path. They feel the eye. Feel the eye. They love me. And it needs fight.
Check 1, 2. Yeah, man, for bookings, check out Herbalist Sound. You don't know. Check it out on Instagram.
Welcome back to beautiful Broward County Stadium. Historic event. USA Women's Under-19 hosting Cricket West Indies Women's Under-19. USA Women's Under-19 win the series by 4-1, but not until we were left for a game for the ages. The last game just finished on the last ball for USA to win it. It was a fantastic piece of cricket. None other, Shabani Bhaskar has been with us for the entire time. She's commentated on every single delivery, talking about women's cricket, USA cricket, and all sorts of cricket. So, Shabani, thank you for being with us. Your thoughts on this series, this historic event. What's cricket now in USA, and what's cricket in the future coming up?
Well, thank you, Ryan. It's been wonderful commentating alongside you. But congratulations to the West Indies women and the USA women. A great series. I had the best seat in the house from the commentary box. Looking out, I could see every single play, and it was an amazing series, well fought. 2 games coming down right to the last ball. First time West Indies coming on top, this time USA. But a brilliant display of cricket. The fielding in this series has been incredible. We've had brilliant performances from both sides, USA as well as West Indies, with the bat, with the ball. The attitude with which these players have played speaks volumes. And I just see West Indies and USA cricket just growing and going up.
Shabani Bhaskar, been with us since ball 1 all the way to the end. She's carried the torch on commentary, has been fantastic. But now it's time for us to get to the awards. We're going to start off with the SMK Global Player of the Match. And it's none other than the highest score so far for the series. Liliana Grimmond has won that award. Can we have Shivnarine Chanapal to present? Okay. Ashmini Munisa, the captain for the West Indies Women's U19 team, will accept this award for Liliana. So, player of the series, we're talking about a player that has impacted the game all 5 games, who's had a say in the outcomes, who's either put pressure on, won, or provided their team with the chance to win. Player of the series, SMK, Global Player of the Series, Shalini Samaru has won it. Our presenter will be Shabani Bhaskar. Ashmini Munisar will accept it for her. Shalini is coming. Shalini Samaru. Now, it's time. Listen, no competition is ever made already without 2 teams. So the West Indies have traveled a long way to come and make this historic tour possible. And they've put on a show over 5 games. So we're getting ready to present the runners-up medals for this fantastic historic series. And we're going to have a presenter, Anne Brown-John, to present the medals for the West Indies. So we're going to have a little procession with the West Indies players. Please just get in line and let's come and accept your medals. Starting with the captain herself, Ashmini Munisa. Ashmini Munisa, everybody. So the coaching staff of the West Indies Women's U19 collecting their medals. So there you have it, the medals for the runners-up, the Cricket West Indies Women's U19. Congratulations to them, making the way all the way up to the USA for this historic tour. Yep, historic tour. Wouldn't be possible without them. And the partnership between USA and Cricket West Indies continues, as this path is the very first step along that path. Now, a very important person we have to give recognition to, and she's going to have a couple words, Nadia Grooney, a member of the USA Cricket Board. None of this is made possible without Nadia. Nadia comes to the stage now. She's going to take this microphone and give thanks to the people involved. Nadia.
Thank you very much, Ryan. What a fantastic five-match series we've had here. I just want to thank Cricket West Indies for making the trek over here to Florida, putting on such a fantastic competition against USA Under-19 girls. This is just the beginning. There is still a long road ahead. Both teams are headed to the Under-19 World Cup, the very first one by the ICC. And even beyond that, there is that potential of cricket being included in the Olympics in 2028. So as we work towards the World Cup, just keep in mind that these girls are at the prime age of becoming Olympians in 6 years' time. So I just want to thank again Cricket West Indies for their collaboration, cooperation and support. I also want to thank the volunteers who've done a superb job throughout the series, and everyone, all of the event staff who've made this event possible. And special thanks also to our sponsors. We've got Lakshmi, we've got Tiger Advisory Group of companies, we've got New York Life and Company, as well as our awards sponsor, SMK Global. Thank you very much.
That is, by the way, Nadia Grooney, USA Cricket Board Director, Chair, Women and Girls, and on the where the winning team are about to collect the trophy and the awards themselves. So the very first series, right here in Broward, USA Cricket hosting West Indies Cricket, none other, USA Women's U19 team, the champs of this series, winning it by 4-1, and they're about to collect their trophy. Medals. Captain, hang on, Captain first, Gitika Kodali, would you come up please and accept your award?
Lasya Mulapudi.
Oh, Disha Dhingra.
So we have some commentary here, and we're going to give it up to the USA girls to handle name calling. Here we go.
Aditi Chudasama. Sai Tanmay Iuni. Lisa Ramjit. Anika Kolan. Bhumika Badriraju. Lasya Mulapudi. Snigdha Paul. Suhani Thadani. Isani Vaghela. Chetna Prasad. Mitali Patwardhan. Ritu Singh.
Tia Gonzalez, everyone. So here comes the coaches, hardest working people on the staff. So one more time, we've called her Captain Fantastic on the in the commentary booth. She's representing and receiving this award for both teams have played splendid cricket. The standard was so high, but there could only be one champion, and USA Women's Under-19 win the series by 4-1. Gitika Kodali to accept the award for the winners. So there you have it. USA Women's Cricket winning the series by 4-1. Historic. This is not the last series. It's the first of many. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys soon with USA Cricket. For my name, Ryan Davis, and for the rest of the broadcast team and everyone involved, thank you. See you soon.